Okay. This is going to be the start of the video. Welcome to Mr. Witty's super... Damn it, hey, restart, cut that. We're going to edit that out. We're going to edit that out, wait a sec. Welcome to Mr. Witty's Serpent Hunter tutorial. On today's video, we're going to show you how to use things like Save Organizer and Hit Count Manager and Elden Ring tool. These are all the saves I just made. I'm going to delete these. I mentioned this on the previous video, but Save File Organizer, I'll put a link in the description for this. You just have to designate where your Elden Ring save file is. I usually import like a current save file, like at the start of the run before I like delete a character or whatever. And then, you know, Hit Count Manager is optional. I feel like if you're going to be running this game while streaming, this is nice to have, but you can set this up to do auto splitting. I think this should auto split. My auto splitter is set up for all remembrances right now, but all of these are bosses in the run, so it should work. We'll see how that works though, but and then the other thing that's super useful, I'll have a link in the description for as well, is Elden Ring tool. And if you launch the game using Elden Ring tool, it will bypass easy anti-cheats. So if I were to click, let me move these out of the way really quick. I launched the game using easy anti-cheat. It said could not attach to the game. That's because the game is not running or because it was blocked by easy anti-cheat or whatever. Click yes to try launching the game with EAC disabled, easy anti-cheat, or no just to try attaching again. So we're going to say yes because we want to launch the game bypassing easy anti-cheat. Now it's saying find the EXE for Elden Ring. You just have to find your folder. For me, it's the G Drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Elden Ring Game. We just select the EXE. And once you do this once, it'll remember. And all you have to do is just, like, I get brought it up automatically for me here. So we're just going to launch the game doing that. It's important to have a good time. Yes. If you're using the Serpent Hunter, that means you have chosen to do a civilized run of this game. And for that, I applaud you. I need a thumbnail of like Obi-Wan throwing down like the blaster and saying so uncivilized, but the blaster is like the iron balls. In fact, I'm gonna make that. Anyway, so as far as Team Hitless stuff is concerned, if this is your first submission, if this is your first run, you want to make sure your recording starts from the main menu, because the app version, like the patch and stuff, you should make sure is visible. I should explain HUD stuff too, huh? But anyway, you want to show the app version there and stuff. And then, you know, make a new character. You personally like Chaos, Professional, Witty. Hey, my last guide was, like, a lot of people use my last guide. Like, more people than I could have possibly thought. So I want to actually put, like, some decent effort into this. So, Serpent Hunter tutorial. And we're going to start with cracked pots. We're going to use a crap load of pots later on this run. So that's important to distinguish there. We'll go Ronnie this time. But we're going to start Samurai with cracked pots. Hey, Painter, how you doing, dude? Oh, are you saying... Wait. I thought I made a pretty hot chick. So if you're saying that I'm even hotter in real life, then that's the ultimate compliment, honestly. Because I was like, surely I'm hottest as a hot chick, you know? The female form is just like, you know, very, like, artistic. It's like a, you know what I mean? It's like a work of art, you know? I used your iron ball setup. Nice. That one's super old. That's a super duper old outdated setup. I wonder if we could probably do a much easier version of that too. But anyway, you don't have to fight Grafted Cyanide if you're unaware of that, because even if you kill him, you have to take a death here one way or the other. So we're gonna take a death here. Now I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna use this for the purpose of this guide, but you shouldn't be using this on an actual run. Let me show you just a second here. So For the purpose of this run, like showing strats and stuff, I'm just going to turn on no death here. Oh, can you even see that? Here we go. You guys can see this. So no death is the top left. This is what ER tool looks like. You can do a lot of stuff with this tool. This is probably a good time to maybe explain some of this stuff. But you got 1 HP, infinite consumables, infinite rune arcs, infinite FP, infinite stamina. You can spawn an item, you just type in the name. Let's say like if I wanted to spawn Serpent Hunter, we could type in Serpent Hunter. Actually, is it not going to let... Oh, it's Serpent Dash Hunter, right? So we could spawn it if we wanted to. They've added a few things to this tool that are really convenient, like the menu. We can do a Great Rune, we can mix the physic, we can change our spells. You can do all of this from here. Like if I do, say, Great Rune, it brings up the Great Rune menu, just wherever you want. It's super convenient. And then the flags also have some nice new stuff. You can unlock all maps, you can unlock all graces, stuff like that. It's very convenient. And you know, like poise view, target options. Like if you enable target options, you can see the boss's poise. Like if, I don't know, say for example, you're having problems getting like a scripted phase 2 Godfrey, you can like turn on the poise and see like, okay, during the cutscene, I can look at my tool on my other monitor and see like how much poise is left or whatever. But this tool is like super, super useful. I'll make sure there's a link in the description. But for now, we're just going to turn on no death because that's about all I really care about at this point. I usually put my blue flask in my pouch. Some people do other stuff, but that's just what I personally do. Oh yeah, holding forward on the flail, yeah. So that's another thing. Should we kill Boggart just because it's faster, or should I not bother with that? Because, and I don't think I'm gonna show like the Starfist and or Iron Ball stuff on this guide this time, because it is in the old guide, and some of those strats are better now too. But part of the reason I wanted to make a new guide is because a lot of like, you know, first team submissions for Team Hitless are like 3 to 4 hour Iron Ball runs, and this run should maybe be around 2 hours. And so like, why is that important? Well, think of it as like from a runner standpoint. Like you could do 2 attempts of this run and the amount of time it takes to do 1 attempt of like a longer run, right? So that's, you know, that's kind of important. Like efficiency is nice, and you'll see on this run that a lot of the strats are pretty nice, like pretty cozy stuff. So we're gonna grab Church of Ella. We're gonna come back there later, but we don't need to buy anything right now. Leave poor prom man alone. Okay, we won't kill it. I didn't kill him just like, you know, on the run through. I just did just to make sure we have all the strats figured out. So yeah, and you can mess it up. Yeah, and fighting him straight up sucks. I killed this guy. You don't have to kill him. And then I run, I guess, northwest a little bit. There's a root resin here. We're going to use one of those later. There's another place we can pick it up if you forget, so not a huge problem. I'll show you guys that later. Make sure you include the naughty stories in the guide. Yeah, they'll clearly need to see that, right? They need to know the fake lore of Pokemon, I guess. Anyway, I go to Gatefront. You can go to the other one. It doesn't really matter. We're here for the whistle. I guess most of the people that are running Hitless know this, right? Like this part of this. I don't have to be this specific about stuff. Like everyone knows you need Torrent, surely. I guess you don't maybe need it, but smut is important. Nice. Anyway, Torrent first. And we're going to be collecting a lot of mushrooms and butterflies. That's primarily what I'm going to be grabbing here. That guy's a snitch. I always hit him unless I'm doing weapon only or something and I'm not allowed to hit him. But, you know, snitches get stitches. I don't want to verify. Oh, yeah. So I just about grabbed these smithing stones. We don't need them, but let's just say somebody's following this guide, but they also, you know, like the old guide and they want to do Iron Balls or Starfist later. We don't need to upgrade any smithing stone weapons, and we need 2 stone sword keys, so we're going to grab this one. That's like muscle memory right there. Yeah, or you could upgrade the Uchi. That's true. But with this particular script, it would be basically the same, even with like a +3. You might just die like one unsheath earlier or something. It's pretty cozy. I know +0 sounds scary, but with the bleed grease, it's really rather cozy, I think. But that's a good point. You could just grab 12 smithing 1s and go to +3 and make it a little bit cozier on yourself, and it's not like it won't affect the run at all. Like spending that amount of money, it won't make a difference. So yeah, you can totally do that for sure. Our next target is this guy on the horse up here. He drops Golden Vow incantation, or Ash of War. So we just do 2 unsheaths. Riposte him. And that should be GG. Now we need to get some butterflies. We're gonna use a lot of butterflies on this run. This part, I mean, you got to be a little bit careful here, but if you happen to get hit here, it's like at the start of the run, so who cares? They can shoot fire at you. If you can tell which way they're facing, try not to stand in front of them, but it's not that big of a deal. We'll get more butterflies later, so we'll get a lot of them. Here I'm gonna pick up the lance. There's 2 kind of main ways to fight Rykard. And the lance is probably the easiest way. And I'll explain a bit more about that when we get there, but you can basically get a scripted Rykard if you do the lance. I'll explain it later. But you may or may not want the lance depending on what you prefer. All right, we want this talisman that this guy drops. And we want the exalted flesh that he dropped. Oh, I forgot to say that I picked up the exalted flesh in that village back there. That's important. So heavy unsheath, R1, charge R2. Get him out of the hole. Then we're gonna do 3 R1s. Lock on and get into the stance, and as soon as you see his name, do the unsheath. L2, R2, unsheath.
How could this... Was my whole existence just a crop?
My poor pot friend. If you want smithing stones, there's 2 on the bridge right here. You can grab those. This guy we're gonna buy a pot from.
Are you here as a customer?
I guess you could buy the short sword too. It is a cheap weapon to like put Golden Vow on, but on the run through I just did, we put it on the dagger and I put Gambit on the rapier. It doesn't really matter what you do there. Anyway, we're gonna go like southeast. There's 3 Trinas, the Lillies here. We don't use a ton of sleep pots on this run, but you definitely don't want to run out. I just ride off straight east on this, and then just immediately jump forward. Some people do it in a different way, but... Golden Rune 6. Ever's Cookbook, that lets us craft sleep pots. And I just grab like the not Golden Rune 1s. So all the ones that aren't Golden Rune 1, basically. Yeah, the drop can be lethal if done wrong. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so make sure whatever you do there, you know what you did and you can repeat it, because that's kind of the most important thing not to mess up. But I've done that the same way for like 2 years now, and that's just how I happen to do it. I see it done like several ways. Maybe people have had some bad experiences, so they're a little bit more cautious there. So there's the physic. And now I like to have my physic in the bottom pouch personally, but you can do it however you please. We're not doing Radagon on this run, but going to Rotview Balcony is, you know, pretty important because Flame Grant Strength is our body buff. I guess I should explain the buff types too, huh? Maybe they know that already. What do you think, Eggsy? Do you think they would? I'll try to explain buff order and buff types and stuff because I do see a lot of people buffing in an unoptimal order that are doing no hit. Like they're basically getting no value out of the body buff if they're like doing it first. Okay, I'll show like, I guess, I'll show the safe line here. So you go up here. Not that the other way is safe, but, or unsafe, it's just, this is like a super duper safe way. You see that too? Okay. I'll explain all that stuff when we're actually using the buffs, I think. But it's important, so it's important that it's nighttime here. After you get Torrent, it's automatically nighttime. So this is why it's a good time to come here now. Plus, we don't have to come back to Caelid at all later if we do it now. So we can just get this part out of the way, even though we're not going to be using this spell until after Godrick. But I just kind of follow this line. The main goal here is to make sure that archer doesn't shoot at you. My favorite is emotional support, exalted flesh. Yeah, so we do use Exalted Flesh. It does the same amount of damage boost as Flame Grant Strength, but it doesn't give the stamina recovery, so it's not quite as good. Here you just need to sneak in here. They won't see you. And then we're just going to port back to Rot View Balcony. And they don't stack. Great point. Yep. So they're both considered body buffs, and they do not stack. One will overwrite the other. That's a good point, yeah. So the Golden Vow, Ash of War we got, that is an aura buff. And Flame Grant Strength, Exalted Flesh, those are body buffs. Those two types of buffs will stack together. Aura and body. But two of the same type will not stack. So Exalted Flesh and Flame Grant Strength are both body buffs, they will not stack. Yep, Golden Vow spell is also an aura buff. It will not stack with the Ash version, but it will stack with body buffs. So, all of that's kind of important to know, I would say. So we're just going to go over here to Dragon Barrow next. I'm going to grab this Grace because we're going to warp back here in a second. I have 1,400 runes. That's perfect. We need 1,200 up here. Here, I just kind of like hug near this like dragon right here. I guess I'm heading like straight west, if that helps. And then I just kind of veer left a little bit and just kind of hug like the left side of this like hump or whatever. And then there is a dog to the left there, but at nighttime they're not really gonna see you. And we're just gonna buy the Beast Torch from this guy.
Nervous?
And equip that in our offhand. Oops. And if it's on your back, that counts as it working. So we have Beast Torch on our back. That's pretty important for this next part. So our next stop is Somber 8 and a Somber 9. Smithing Stone. Should I show the branch drop here or just run down the normal way? The branch I don't think is that hard to do. Knock this idiot off. We're gonna try to like lure him into this channel right here. I might have to R1 him once to get him to go all the way to the edge. And then I'm gonna do an L2 R1 unsheath. That knocks him off. There's our Somber 8. And then jump onto this branch. And then right here, so you just go into this corner right here, spin Torrent 180, and then you're aiming for like the nook of this tree right here. Just a single hop gets you like right into this nook, and then spin another 180 and just ride down a little bit before you drop off. It's pretty cozy to do that way. Or you can just ride down here the other way, but that's just a little bit quicker. And so we grabbed a Rune Arc and a Somber 9 down there, which we'll use both of those later. I'm going to show additional Rune Arc pickups in case you're running on console. because if you die or something, you can't like load your save files like we can on PC. I feel like that would be nice to know. It's like where a few extra rune arc pickups are. So aside from ones we can pick up in the path, you can buy 3 at Round Table, you can buy 3 at the Merchant at Bellum Highway, or Bellum Church, I guess. I feel like that's, I think even me running on PC, I'll occasionally pick them up just so I guess I could use the tool, but I occasionally just like pop them again, you know? But you can do all of this without a PC. That's for sure. Okay, so I guess I don't technically need to grab this Grace, but we're gonna do it just to be safe here. And then I'm gonna equip all my armor. And so I just ride up here, jump off a torrent, and smack the wall. Oh, for Avatar, great point. Yeah, thank you. And then I just sneak in here, just hug the left. While crouching, of course. And then I usually just sneak up here till I'm like maybe about at the stairs and then climb the ladder. They'll shoot poison at you typically. With the armor on, even if they do a double poison cloud, you shouldn't get a full buildup of poison. If that bar fills up all the way and you start taking damage, that is a hit. That's from an enemy, so I guess that's important to know. We're dropping in this second hole back here. Make sure you have the Beast Torch on your back so the rats don't attack. I'm gonna grab this rune right here. It's worth 7,500. And then we're gonna jump over to this part. And again, these rats shouldn't attack. And then I sneak as soon as I hit the ground here. Now we have Radagon's Sword Seal. I equip that right away. And we're gonna warp to Third Church of America now. Would he be teaching? I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. I think that this guy can be better than the previous. That's my goal. Hopefully. I usually put kukris in my bar while I'm running around, like random menuing stuff here. But we're kind of just running, I guess, south, straight south-ish. I usually head towards this like elevator. And we're gonna get a bunch of sunflowers here. And the spiked cracked tier, that's important. We need like 6 or 7 sunflowers. Here I just grab the 2 lilies and jump off a torrent and come down here. You might be able to hear him if he wakes up. As long as you don't hit him, he shouldn't wake up. Just be careful there, I guess. We don't need a ton of lilies on this run, so you don't need to get all 5. But if you run out, you can come back and get more. I usually just grab 3 and get out of there, like he'll never wake up. Now I'm gonna head to this merchant. I guess I don't need to buy anything from this merchant on this run. I'm gonna at least grab the butterfly. If you want smithing stone ones, he's got them. But the butterfly there is nice. And we are gonna reload this castle. I think that's the safest way to do this, right? I have a good way to do it with just running through once and getting the cookbook. But I think that I'll just show the reload just because it's really safer this way. And it saves a kukri as well. I feel like having extra kukris would be nice in case you know, waste some in Volcano Manor or something. So a little skip up the rock right there. Golden seeds aren't super important on this run, but you can grab that one. And then I guess this skip is kind of tricky. You need to like double jump really fast and aim to the right of the corner. I like messed it up that time. But it should pop you up if you do it right. And then here we're just going to snipe these guys. I'm going to do L2, R2. I guess it doesn't have to be a fire arrow, actually. It can be an L2, R1. Just weapon art these first 2 guys. Make sure the beast torch is on. You need to grab at least one blood rose, but you can do that on the second trip through here. Run up to this first platform and weapon art this guy. And then we're gonna sneak up these steps. Shoot an arrow at this wood. Switch to the Uchi while sneak running over here. And then there's a script for this guy. It's just charge R2, heavy unsheath, riposte. Bloody Slash we'll use to set up Red Feather Branch Sword later. It lowers your HP. And so this is the second half of Dectus. I guess I didn't really explain picking that up, but I think people should understand how Dectus works, you know, if they're no-hit running this game, so that's not huge. Okay, so the advantage of killing that guy and then just running back in is everybody's gone now. So this is like the safest way to get the bleed grease cookbook. Hey, let me up here. And another butterfly here. Yeah, and like the fort's just empty, so you can get this cookbook without risk of getting hit. So you don't know how Dectus works. That's a shame, man. That's a shame. Free bleed grease in Liurnia at Jellyfish. That's nice. All right, so now we're gonna go back to the Church of Ella. We grabbed it earlier, and
this way, Tarnished.
Ronnie will be here.
May I have a word?
Luckily Ronnie texts me all the time.
What you doing?
Chillin' at Fort Pharaoh. What about you?
Bored. Calais asleep. Come over.
Now.
Yeah, I want you to fuck me up.
Bet.
So she's always like texting me and she's always telling me to like come fuck her up. So, you know, we just
What hoping?
double fist her a few
No
times.
sense in arguing, I see. Thou art a...
Then she'll disappear. So she needs to go get some sleep after that. And now we can buy stuff from him. Ooh, I don't have a lot of runes, so we should sell stuff to him first. Sell all your runes. Buy about 30 throwing daggers, 3 crackpots, the crafting kit, and the missionary cookbook 1. So I'll just craft holy pots. Probably not faster than the... Yeah, I guess running all the way to Jellyfish. I mean, we're going to get the Academy Key and the Kukris there. Wouldn't be that much of a run, but yeah. Gamba. Okay, here. Make sure you pull the Beast Torch back out. But now we're just going to run, like, kind of straight north. There are some bats up here. Just stay to the left and they won't do anything to you. I guess I'm showing mega skip on this run. Because we don't really need like the merchant or anything, huh? It's not really that hard, but it's definitely good to know. I'll pull out the torch, maybe you can see better. Hey, squirrel, get out of my fucking way. Alright, here's the first set of wolves. Alright, so mega skip. After the second set of wolves, we're just gonna double jump into this like kind of crevice right here. Then jump forward 1. And then jump forward a 3rd time. You can do it in a much slower way too if you want. Like, it doesn't have to be that like efficient, but that's basically the skip down here. I guess I should say if Torrent dies but you don't, it's not a hit. But those guys might hit you after if that happens, so. You can drop down, you can do the same double jump into the nook and then kind of like wiggle your way down the rest of the way if you want to be like super careful. It's not that specific. I am going to grab 2 finger talisman here just because it's kind of right on the way and it does kind of speed up this next part a tiny bit. So just run into here, break the floor, and ride downstairs. This could also be useful if you're a console runner and you're out of rune arcs and you need to be able to use Flame Grant Strength. You could equip that to buff. But you can basically just run out of there, and we're going straight north now to this teleporter over here. If any of this stuff you want to practice, you can make you know, save files for if you're on PC. But in my experience, you're going to be doing this a lot, so you kind of get the practice through repetition. All right, so I do this. There's a lot of ways to get down from here. I usually run over here and just jump the railing clean. Like, make sure you don't land on the railing, and then just aim for like this like exposed branch. Lowly. I wouldn't say lowly necessarily. I mean, you got to work with what you got, you know what I mean? All right, so let's go ahead and equip this and craft, I don't know. You can do all 7, it doesn't matter. Like, maybe you'll miss some of these. But there's 2 lilies here. I usually grab them on the way. And then there's a mushroom here. If you are finding yourself low on mushrooms, there's mushrooms everywhere. You just gotta look out for them. And then 3 more lilies there. And then we want this grace right here. Now you can kill this guy with the flail if you have Sword Seal on. If you grab the flail from gate front, you can just kill him. It saves a tiny bit of time here, but it's super not necessary. And he does drop iron balls in case you may want to use those later in the run. I'm not gonna like set up a save file for this guy, but this guy's worth practicing for sure. Now, if you just stay in the back and just like crouch and wait for a second, he shouldn't do any attack. Like, he can sometimes attack, but I was told if you wait back here for like 6 seconds or something, he'll just like chill out eventually. And I'll try to show a bow lineup here because I usually free aim it, but a bow lineup is nice. So like, I usually, like, I can see his head just in my crotch and it should hit his head. Like, if you have the bow out, you can totally bow angle it. So he attacked that time. I guess I was a little bit late. Whoops. Okay. If he has like a sliver of health left, you can fire arrow him. Like, you can mighty shot fire arrow him once he's passive. As like a backup. Or you can run to the back of the ruin and crouch, and it will let you craft again, so. But yeah, maybe you can maybe do a bow lineup there. I don't know exactly where to aim with the bow.
Hello.
So I didn't even attempt it, but.
Rather my mistress. But I was a. Could I ask that thug only if you've.
So we're gonna come south and talk to Raya here.
The thug, Shirley's.
And then go back to Boyopran. I guess I need to pick up Vati to show that strat as well, huh? Oh, I always forget to actually buy the thing once I'm here. Knower of Elden
What,
things.
You trying to stop? Show me. And I'll consider. I'm not in love with it. You're a first.
Alright, so we're gonna buy the necklace. And I guess it's southeast, basically. I didn't mention that earlier. Knower of cock things.
Please.
I'll give her her necklace.
Did I forget? I see you are very to study such. Please. Bring most time. You are the volcano.
Back to Boyopron one more time. That took a turn real quick. Blame Painter. Blame Painter. Painter's fault. Oops. Alright, we're gonna run over here to Forg Island. This is a nice chill spot to hang with the homies. Grab the Dex Knot tier. Then head southwest. And we're looking for this dead tree right here or so, the fallen one. Past the dead tree is like a gap in the rocks. No you. And don't go too close to that guy. And then this guy, we're trying to turn him into this log. It gets him stuck. You can stagger him before he goes into poison. If you happen to get poisoned here, whoops. It's not a hit because it's environmental. So keep that in mind. There's a crab that pops up on the right here. Don't get too close to him. And then I'm gonna grab this Grace up here and I'm gonna show you guys like underneath here is a tree with a crap load of Trina's lilies. It's good to have those as like a backup. Let's say like some strats go wrong and you run out of Trina's lilies on the run. It's good to just go ahead and grab this Grace. If you're grabbing Val the Indomitable, which I just got from the Scarab, this is like a good backup to have for Trina's lilies. Like you shouldn't need them on this run, but if you do, this is like a good backup. And Val the Indomitable is going to be an optional pickup. You might not have to run here at all, but I just wanted to like kind of show this just in case. So now we're gonna go back to South Raya Gate here. I'm gonna blame you both in bed. Okay, next stop is the Academy Key and the Kukris over there. Right now we have 4 Kukris. We're gonna need more than that for Volcano Manor. So we're gonna go, there's a pickup of 6 over here that are really important. The key's not super important, but if we're gonna grab the Kukris, we may as well grab the keys. In that gazebo is 3 smithing 2s. So if you need smithing stones, you can go grab the ones out of that gazebo first. We don't need them on this run, so I'm gonna skip those. This would be a good part of the run to craft a bleed grease here, and we can go ahead and craft full sleep pots. So in my bar down here, I like to have bleed grease, flesh, and then sleep, all in a row. Hey Scamp, how you doing, dude? Scamp, can you think of anything that should be included in a no-hit guide for this game, whether from like a general standpoint or, you know, maybe specific to like a first time any percent or anything at all you can think of? So we have the Academy Key now. We're just going to go here for a shortcut. You could go to EG and go to Bellum Church from EG, but we don't need EG yet. So it would kind of be like a waste of time to go that way now. So, in my opinion, Volcano Manor is one of the most dangerous parts of this whole run. And we're doing it like relatively early. And so if you happen to get hit there and have to reset, then you've saved yourself like, you know, 5 minutes going to EG or something. Again, you can do whatever you want. Like, I like to stagger the setup if I can on runs, so that way if you're getting hit early, you didn't like go grab a bunch of extra stuff you don't need. Also, there's some more root resin through here if you haven't crafted your bleed grease yet. Use Great Stars. Honestly, Great Stars looks like a really freaking good weapon. Honestly. So here's Bellum Church. You could take the Grace here because the merchant here does sell rune arcs. So if you're running on console, you want to have some extra rune arcs access, you would probably want to grab that Grace. And there's a rune arc up here. We've already grabbed one. I'm going to grab this one as well. On non-somber runs, typically that's the rune arc you grab because you don't need to go get the somber 9 in Dragon Barrow. Another butterfly here, by the way. How many butterflies are we up to? 14? That's probably enough, actually, but we'll grab more just to be safe. We're tight. There's a couple strats on this run that are kind of tight as well, as far as like timing and stuff. But I still think this route is really nice. It's nice because it's so efficient is the thing, you know? I explained it a bit earlier, but some of the first time runs that are coming in for Team Hitless are like 3 to 4 hours long. This run will be like, in theory, like half that long. And so you could theoretically get like 2 attempts of this in the time it takes to do one of the other, right? Which is just nice for like real life, you know, time management or whatever. Nice, Gamba. Alright, so here we want to grab the Grace before we talk to Raya. Did I grab the Grace at Dectus, actually? We don't need to do that. If I did that, just disregard that. I'm used to it's like muscle memory from like other runs I've done or working on. Alright, so all our items are set up. Oh my god. I have a question. What if you're playing on console and don't know left from right and how to hold your fingers in the shape of an L?
I have a question. What if you are playing on console and don't know left from right and how to hold your fingers in the shape of an L?
Maybe like a dance pad? Thank you for the bits, by the way. Maybe like a dance pad? You could do like a dance pad run? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, that's very thoughtful of you, Scamp. That's very, very thoughtful of you. Alright, we need to grab that Grace for later.
Rias, a warrior, perhaps. Will you join? Rise with us. Interesting. Now you belong the drawing room, but be sure.
Once she gives you the drawing room key, you're good to go here. It's also important to still have the Beast Torch on. I pretty much keep it on the whole run, I think, for running sections for the most part, except maybe like Farum Azula or something. I guess even there it wouldn't hurt. There's dogs there. Yeah, there's a lot, right? There's a lot. Jens says you have to jump the altar or you're not like a cool kid or something. Oh shit, I didn't light the Grace. I usually light the Grace, hit the door, then warp to the Grace to prevent that animation, but whatever. Okay, so at this stage in the run, there's really not a lot left to do. So we're gonna go ahead and sit down and go to round table. What did I buy at round table?
It seems torrent, whereas
I didn't buy a golden vow weapon yet, right?
Very let my hand.
I guess if you kill Boggart, you could put golden vow on the iron balls. And I didn't buy the short sword either. We'll just go buy what we need from the merchant here. It's not a big deal. If I had the short sword, we could skip this merchant right here, but. Not pushing harder. All right, so we're gonna buy the dagger and the rapier, I guess, and the seal. I don't think I have any more new runes to pop, do I? Okay. So
You'll no matter how you're.
we're gonna do, I guess, golden vow on this. And Vow of the Indomitable on the shield, if you're going to use that strat. I'll show you the difference once we get to Rykard. And then you should have just enough runes to get to like 20 strength. 21. Doesn't really matter. Do the flask here really quick. 3 and 3 is plenty for this run. Physic, we're gonna go strength and dex. We're gonna use the charge one later. And then I guess you can go ahead and equip Flame Grant Strength. We're not going to use it yet, but it doesn't hurt. You do Knight's Cav or BBH? No, I don't do either on this one. You don't. Levels are really not that important on this one. Like we just need to get to 79 strength and the rest endurance. So a little bit of faith just so we can use Flame Grant Strength. But I keep the Beast Torch on here because of the dog right there. Oh, that was the worst jump of all time. If that happens, just port back. Yeah, the freaking hurt hand is so unfortunate. There we go. So this is the second stone sword key that we need. Now this part's a little specific, okay? So I want to make sure you have a buffered sprint. So how do I buffer a sprint? I'm going to hit a start to bring up the menu and then hold the back button. Now my sprint's buffered. You can see my controller. And then we're just going to jump off here, spin a 180, 4 back steps, drink your healing, 5 back steps, wait for the final tick, and then you're through the lava and you have RTSR set up. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can just maybe put Bloody Slash on the rapier or something for now, or whatever, and then maybe the scimitar you could buy instead, and just set up Bloody Slash. But this is like, you have to run through there anyway, so you know, it's a free setup. Might as well do it. But it's worth practicing and see if you like it or not. So we picked up a somber, I think it was the somber 6 on that roof back there, right? And this is the 5, I think. One of them's the 5, one of them's the 6. Yeah, okay. So, okay, so one thing I forgot to do, I usually do it on the elevator. I'm gonna put bow in the left hand and I'm gonna switch to the red feather talisman. And this is gonna be the first kukri throw of the run, I guess. I'm gonna kukri throw it at this pillar. And we want the golden vow dagger as well. Okay, so this will be like the first time I'll show you guys how to make a save file. So you can either quit out or you can just drop an item. Like, what have I picked up that I don't need? Dung. So just drop an item. That makes the game autosave. And then we can bring down our save file organizer, hit import save file. And then I like to name mine. So I'll call this like 01 Noble. And then now we have a save file for this part. And if you don't have Godrick's Great Rune, like whatever HP you're at when you set this up, it will save, which is nice. So, okay, so the Godskin Noble script. I guess I'll probably show this a couple of times. It's not too crazy, all right? So the first thing you do is you just walk in here and count the pews. You want to walk like to the 3rd one, basically. So I'll talk you through this before I actually do anything. We're going to drink the Physic first. That lasts 3 minutes. Then we're going to do Golden Vow, which lasts 45 seconds. The Bleed Grease lasts 60 seconds, but we want that to last the longest. So we're going to do that after Golden Vow. Plus, we have to switch off this weapon anyway. But basically, we're going to do Physic, Golden Vow, Bleed Grease the Uchi, eat the Exalted Flesh, and then throw a Sleep Pot. So that's why I like to have Grease, Flesh, Sleep Pot, okay? Another thing you can do is like aim straight forward and aim your head at like the top of this chandelier. Early, just have it there already. So there's the Physic. There's Golden Vow. Switch to the Uchi and 2-hand it. Bleed Grease. Eat the Exalted Flesh. Drink up mana and throw a pot. And then immediately run forward. Alright, he's sleeping, okay? So we're gonna do 4 R1s to the side. So we don't accidentally riposte and then immediately sleep again. As soon as he starts to sit back down, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heavy unsheath. And then I try to turn him a little bit just in case, but it doesn't really matter. Immediately throw a sleep pot here and walk away. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Heavy unsheath. And that's it. If you're a little bit short on damage, that would stagger as well. And so if you've turned him properly, he won't be on the stairs, and you can just riposte him there. Now, here's something that I always do just to make sure I don't kill myself, is I put back on Sword Seal and I light and sit down at this Grace and level up. Now, you don't want to spend all your runes because we need upgrade money. So I usually go to like 26 strength here, just to make sure that I sit down and get myself full health and leave myself with upgrade money. So I'm going to run that fight one more time just to show you guys. So if I quit out and bring in and click my noble file and click load save file, it'll load that save. You can also hotkey it if you'd like. Oh, the discoloration's making you laugh? Alright, so we're going to like the third pew, basically. You don't have to aim up right away. It doesn't really matter. Golden Vow first. Maybe drink now, then bleed grease. As long as you get... Don't forget the blue. That's the important part. This one only lasts 30 seconds, so maybe it's better to drink blue first. Immediately run forward. He may attack, so be ready for that. That's actually good to see here. That will occasionally happen. We're gonna instantly re-sleep. Oh, did I do something wrong here? Oh, I was supposed to do... I already messed this up. This might still work, though. Let's see. I realized what I did wrong. I was going to do 8 R1s. Yeah, I definitely messed this up. Yep, okay. I wasn't counting, my bad. That's an example of what not to do. So let's do it one more time. This is why practice is important. You like once you get this muscle memory down, it's like pretty hard to mess up. If you forget to drink a blue, you can do it like, you know, in between. Like you could throw this pot and then drink a blue right here if you forgot or something. And I try to turn him just a little bit if I can. Don't go too far, you'll butt riposte him, but... 1, 2, 3, 4. This one we do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unsheath. And that should stagger. If you're low on damage, you'll be able to riposte if he's not on the stairs. If he is on the stairs a little bit, I recommend crouching and then riposting. It usually gives you a better like angle. Or like, you know, whatever window to do it. And then yeah, 26 strength here. You need about 30,000 to upgrade the Serpent Hunter later. So we're gonna switch back here, and the bow, we're gonna use the bow here. So, there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm gonna grab this rune right here, just because we're right here. This one's worth 7,500. It's not bad to have. I call it the Lank rune. I see Lank grab that a lot. Here there's several ways to do it. I like to just do the parkour up this like kind of pillar. I like to, you know, just jump up here and then just kind of roll. Now this part I think is a little bit specific on the kukri here. So as soon as I hit the pillar of that wall up ahead, the abductor is going to start coming towards us, and we want to throw a kukri like basically as fast as possible. Doesn't have to be super specific. Just make sure it doesn't go too far. Oh, good. He saw me. Okay, good. So if this happens, just run past him. Just in like that can happen. So that's the backup there. That's the backup. It's not ideal, but normally he would go for the kukri. I was just a little bit too late. All right, so here, I like to, all right, so we're +0, so I'm gonna sleep this guy. Because it's, I mean, you can try to kill him, but it's safest just to sleep him. Now we have a lot of kukris to work with, so I'm just gonna kukri this snake. You just need to make sure you have 2 left for Stormveil. So I like to jump over here, jump from here to here, jump over here. I'm holding block this whole time because you'll never baby jump if you're holding block. Heard you say Lake Rune, which is... I said Lank Rune. Lake Rune is damage resist rune in Bloodborne. Oh. Well, you know, and luckily with Hitless, we don't need damage resist. We just need damage evasion, I guess. Okay, so here's where our 2 stone sword keys are coming into play. Now this part's a little bit tricky, I guess. So I just walk off of all of these. I don't run or anything. Once I'm on the second cage, I throw a kukri behind this wizard over here. And then walk onto this 3rd cage. This one I kind of walk at like a perpendicular angle under the beam. And then I just walk all these down. And then here, I mean, this is like maybe the safest thing to do is just like throw a sleep pot. Wait for him to run towards it. And then throw a second one. And then so here I'm facing southeast here. I'm gonna buffer my sprint again by menuing and then just run off. And then you land on this cage and then you're good. You don't have to sleep these guys, by the way. You can just run past them and like jump past them. Like it's not super important. But that's like the safest thing to do. This guy you just run by on the right. And then that's Somber 7 we need. And we're gonna run down this ramp. Yeah, who needs damage resist when you don't take damage? Once you're in this room, it should let you warp back to the Temple of Igle. Igle? I don't know how to pronounce it, but... So now we have our Somber 7. If we go northeast out this door, the elevator we sent down earlier is there. How many kukris do we have left? 5. We need 1 more in this room up ahead. You can sleep this Muppet on the left again if you want. You can try to kill him. I think with +0 it's kind of hard to kill him. But you can just sneak to the right out this room, and then the Muppet won't like attack you, so you don't have to worry about him. And then depending on this snake's pathing, like he's already going to turn around here. I'm going to wait until he's like up near those like the poison guys up there and then run past. So once he's like, you know, up around those guys, I could kukri him again too. Like we have kukris to spare on this run. We just need to make sure we save 2 for Stormveil. I think I said that before, but I want to make sure that that's like being reiterated properly, because you can go by more if you want to run all the way down to Weeping, but you just don't need to do that on this run, and that's, you know, quite a bit of time sink. I always throw the kukri at this pillar, and then just immediately run. And you should be good to go here. The Mistress, Beast Runes. Make sure you light this Grace. This is very important. Like if you forget, you have to run through there 1 more time. We're gonna put the Beast Torch back on. And we can enter the arena and grab Serpent Hunter. And now we can actually leave. So we're gonna go to South Raya Gate and go to EG now. The reason I don't go to EG early is because we don't really need to, and you know, maybe you get hit on Noble or in Manor somewhere, you know what I mean? So I do the same thing as we did before. Just jump the railing clean into the tree. And you shouldn't die. No, all right, so that's a great question, Scamp. So we are going to use Gambit, but we don't have to kill Bernal because you get it for free after Rykard's dead. So we just, it saves you the hassle of killing Bernal. Like at this point, we don't even have our weapon until now. Like we could go kill Bernal and get it, but we're already at Rykard, you know what I mean? So once we kill Rykard, we get Gambit for free. And Patches is automatically dead, so we get the Shackle for free. I'm glad you mentioned that, Scamp. That's a great point. Yeah, Assassin's Gambit's a very useful tool. We are going to use it. This is the most efficient way to get it on this route, if that makes sense. Honestly, some of the stuff on this route could be useful for, like, runs in general, I think. Alright, so we gotta talk to him twice.
Oh, I am an old soul, perhaps.
And we're gonna buy one of each somber stone that he sells. And then we should be able to go +9 on this. So now we have a near max level weapon at the start of the run, basically. I like to favorite this Grace on runs because I feel like I come back here to upgrade typically. I guess on this run we're only upgrading one more time, so maybe it's not important, but I usually favorite that. That way you can just press like map, triangle, triangle to get to it quicker. But on a run like this, we're only upgrading one more time. It might not be like that important of a thing to do. All right, so how many more lilies do I have? 2 more. We'll get some more later. And like I said, we have the Albinarch Village ones if we need more. So we may actually need those on this run. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Rykard now. It's Audience Pathway. The 3rd tier negating all non-lethal fall damage. That actually sounds familiar. And if I knew that, Painter, it's because you told me that at some point, you know? All right, so there's a few options for Rykard. There's a few options here. Let me go ahead and make a save file first. So again, just hit import save file after you drop the item. And we're good there. So what should I show first, do you guys think? It doesn't really make a difference, Scamp, actually. Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. It doesn't make much of a difference. And, like I said, if we kill Rykard, we get Margit's Shackle for free. Without having to kill Patches. So, another, you know, risk avoided. And Margit's, you know, completely free. So, alright, I think the first thing I'm going to show is, like, what I would recommend, and that's the Lance strat. Now, some of you may have seen, like, other runners, I won't say who, but there are runners who don't necessarily follow Team Hitless rules that put RKR on the Lance. I just want to say this up front. If you put RKR on the Lance, that is a banned move swap glitch by Team Hitless. So if you want to submit to Team Hitless, do not put RKR on the Lance. And basically what happens when you do that is it gives the RKR buff from the Lance on the Serpent Hunter in an unintentional way. So I'm just going to throw that out there first. So there is a little bit of, I don't know, like skepticism when it comes to the Lance strat because of that. If you're just using the Lance by itself with nothing on it, you're fine. I just want to throw that out there ahead of time. So you need to have Serpent Hunter in your left hand, Lance in the right for this strat. And I'm going to show a bunch of different ways to do Rykard, but this is kind of like this is the easiest in my opinion. But I run up to like this kind of lava. Do you see like the piece of lava that looks like a thumb? That's like kind of what I stand in, just like little thumb right here. And so we're gonna physic, then golden vow, then drink. I'll try to call it out as I go, but basically physic first, same physic as noble, we didn't change it yet. Then golden vow, I'm gonna switch to the lance, I'm gonna 2-hand Serpent Hunter, I'm gonna drink blue, full height camera, throw 2 pots. Then I'm gonna run forward, and as soon as I hit this pile of skulls, I'm gonna jump R2. And I'm just gonna wait. As soon as he starts to fall down, you crouch. I like to move when I crouch. And then you can stagger him. Like, it looks scary, but that's basically it. Here, stand next to this pile. As soon as the head lands, throw 2 more pots. Okay? I'm not buffering anything right now, but while the cutscene's going, I'm gonna hold forward and sprint. Then skip the cutscene. I'm gonna take 3 steps forward and then jump R2. Then switch to the lance. We're gonna do 3. See what attack he does. Another one. Maybe 2. Okay, so he staggered. Oh, that one whiffed. Okay, so that's like the aggressive crouch poke strat. And I even whiffed one. So that's like... if you can get good at that, you'll blast him every time. So I'm gonna hit load save file. Move this out of the way here. I'm gonna do it one more time with that, because that was actually a little bit scuffed. On the very first crouch poke, I could have gone a little bit sooner. But you don't want to go too sooner to knock him out of the sleep, if that makes sense. So let me just run it one more time. I'll run it one more time that way. I want to show a lot of stuff on this fight, so bear with me here, because this is an important fight to kind of know what he's doing. But this is like, I would say this is like the script, if you care about that. Two sleep pots. Run forward and jump at the pile. Jump R2. Get into the crouch position. And that was perfect timing there. See, we staggered him in 1 less hit because that was quicker. Alright, so here we're gonna walk back to this pile right here. As soon as the head lands, throw 2 sleep pots again. And then I'm gonna buffer the sprint right now. 3 steps forward. You need to be quick here, or it won't count. Wait for him to sleep. Just do 3 to be safe here, and then see what attack he does. This is fine. We just stagger him out of it. Don't get too close to the lava, or you will get ticked by fire. And that's your scripted Rykard right there. It's trickier than it looks, because you, like, obviously if you whiff, you need to know how to dodge the attacks and stuff. But that's kind of like the ultra aggressive, we're just gonna blast in. Like, we don't need red feather or anything. Like, I guess you could maybe set up red feather here if you want to be a little bit more damage, but I think like the strength, dex, and stamina from Radagon Sword Seal is probably just as useful. So I would say that's like the closest to a script you can get with Rykard. With the lance. Now I'm gonna show the shield poke method. And with this method, this is like maybe the more traditional method. If you're doing weapon only runs, like let's say you're doing a weapon only all great runes run with like, you need to kill him with a +0 Serpent Hunter. The shield method is preferred there because you're not allowed to use the lance on weapon only. So in this one, we want the Serpent Hunter in the right hand so we can shield poke. So with this, we're just holding block and hitting R1. So I'll show this way. I'm gonna show it aggressive in phase 2, and I'm gonna show it passive in phase 2. Because there's a lot in phase 2 you need to kind of know. Actually, I'm gonna do passive first. So we'll do the same thing here. Two max height throws. Jump R2. Pull out the shield. Do 5. Alright, he's doing poison. We need to run away. Alright, now he's doing earthquake. that's where Battle of the Indomitable comes in handy. You need to learn the timing of that. I'll explain it in just a second. But yeah, now we're just gonna crouch poke him down. And I'll show passive first, because I'll show you what we're looking at here. And I'll explain the timing of the Battle of the Indomitable too. So I'm gonna show you passive, that way you can see what we're looking for here. He has attacks that make like pink mist come out of the ground. Some people call it red mist, or they call them the red attacks. But once he does 3 of them, he's going to start Hell Phase. That being said, he tends to do a follow-up after the 3rd one, so you need to look out for that. It's only safe after the 3rd one if the 3rd one is like his big like stab into the ground pull out. If that's the 3rd one, then it's safe to attack after, basically, to start the loop. So let me explain it here, because you need to see what we're talking about. So I would start like running like to the side here. You don't want to get pinned behind. So he's going to do a butt slam here. Just run away on this. No problem here. All right, if he does this, we need to L2 him out of it. See if I was quick. I wasn't quick enough there. All right, so now this skull is going to be flying around. We need to look out for that, like right here, the whole time. Look out for this skull. You can bone out here if you aren't comfortable with that. He's going to do a butt slam again. That skull will take about 3 passes and then it'll go away. Alright, so here's the first attack. Alright, watch here. The mist is going to come up. See that mist that came up? That's number 1. Oh, he's doing it again. That's actually really annoying. This is not a great... I'm not like playing it very... Oh shit. Alright, so that was red mist number 2. He did the ground stab. That's red mist number 3. So he's gonna go into his loop here. Watch out for that fucking shit right there. Oops. Alright, that red skull is still going off of here. Like, honestly, this is a bone out situation, you guys. Like, if this happens, just fucking bone out of here. Like, 100%. Like, if that happens on your run, just bone out of there. Like, if you're gonna wait for the loop, just get out of there. Like, that's not even worth it at all. So I'll show it again. That's actually good to see, like, what... I need to turn down my music so I can hear. So, when he does that skull attack, he growls really deeply beforehand, and if you have the... Like, if you can hear it properly, it's really easy to, like, knock him out of it with an L2. I just have my music too high, so I'll try to do it better this time. Whoops. Here we go. So there's a ton to learn on this fight. This is a very complicated fight. This part should be the same on both strats. Try to time it properly if you can. You can do 5 safely. You start in poison again. Run away. No earthquake this time. Also, the hitbox on this poison is closer than it looks, so be careful there. Okay, I'll try to explain it better this time. And I'll try to knock him out of that skull attack if he does it. But we're looking for the 3 pink mist attacks. So counting them can be tricky too. But basically we can do nothing at the start of phase 2 until he goes into hell phase and then loop him continually. But when the skull is out, it's way more dangerous. So I'm actually glad that happened because it's good just a memory of grace there. And the re-entry obviously doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna run to the side here. Let's see what he does. All right, so he's doing it this time. I started it up, seen enough to do a single L2, and then it cancels him out of that attack. That doesn't count as a red mist attack either. You need to like kind of learn how to dodge these attacks he might do. If you stay a little bit further away and like kind of dip in and out. All right, so this is a swipe. This one right here will do red mist. There's number 1. All right, this swipe will do another one. See the red mist? That's number 2. And this will be number 3. This follow-up right here will do red mist, and he can do a follow-up here, so don't start it right away. See, he did a follow-up. Now we can start the loop. Just immediately L2. And what we're looking at here is as soon as his hand hits the ground, L2 again. We're doing single L2s, and like as soon as his hand hits the ground, just keep L2ing. You can even add in a shield poke first if you want. As soon as his hand hits the ground, just L2 again. Don't be too close here, you'll get ticked by the fire. I'm gonna drink now. That you can, it's totally fine to drink. As long as you... I like to do the shield pokes in between, personally. It just speeds it up a little bit. But it takes a little bit more, you know, precision while switching your weapons. And then I'm guessing with our damage, once we get him down to about here, we should be able to like double L2 him. Oh, we just got staggered. That's even better. Okay. So I hope I explained the pink mist like decently there. But all right, I'm gonna try to explain this a little bit better. So if we do nothing in phase 2, you can literally just sit and wait for the hell phase. If you do that and you're late on the L2, lava will start popping up on the floor around you, and it will kill you if you're standing in it when you start up an L2. So it's really good to practice that and make sure you know when it's safe to start the L2. So for example, in that scenario, when he did the third mist attack, it was just a regular swipe. And that means I know he's going to do a follow-up, or he can do a follow-up. He doesn't have to, but like expect a follow-up. The only time it's 100% safe to start up the L2 after the third mist attack is if the third one happens to be the ground stab pullout. That does a red mist as well. So if he does that as the third one, you can immediately start L2ing and go into the loop. So that's very important to know. Like the loop is really nice. And so you've got the crouch poke way where you don't even really have to worry about hell phase. You've got the shield poke way. Or you can combine the two. Like you could do crouch pokes in phase 1, then you could just run away for phase 2 if you wanted. There's a lot of ways to mix and match. I'm going to show one more way, which would be like a little bit more of an aggressive way to do it with the shield pokes, if that makes sense. I still really highly recommend the sleep strat. Do I have 4 sleep? All right, we do have 4 sleep pods. Okay. I still like the sleep strat for both phases. It just, you know, kind of sets you up a little bit nicely. Do it one more time. We do 5 safely. Probably greed one here. I'm gonna stand by this skull again. We're gonna do this. Throw our 2. Do the same thing here. Alright, so this time I'm going to like punish him when he does attacks. So that's red mist number 1. This is the pull-out move, red mist number 2. I got a little bit close to the fire there, but just be ready. Alright, so now we can do snake bite follow-ups because he's below half HP. So you need to really look out for this here. So he's done 2 red mist attacks so far. So here's a snake bite. And you can follow that up, so be ready. This is number 3. You can jump attack that one. And then ground stab. Now, ground stab is always safe. That's technically the 4th. So I can immediately L2. As soon as his hand hits the ground, we can just L2 again. But that's like a, you know, a slightly more aggressive way of fighting him. But I would just say try all the strats, try the crouch pokes, try the shield pokes, try waiting for the loop, that way you can see what the red mist attacks are, try to memorize them. And then, you know, like I said, if it's not the ground stab, he can do a follow-up, so don't immediately start your loop after that if it's the third one, unless the third one's the ground stab. But a lot of ways to deal with him, and honestly, like, you know, like with the crouch pokes, for example, we're just using Soar Seal and Golden Vow. Like, we're not even using Flame Grant Strength or a Flesh, and it's still, like, plenty of damage, right? So yeah. Once Rykard is dead, we can pop his Remembrance. We also have this soul, or rune, I guess. Next stop, we're going back to Volcano Manor. I'm going to take off my flannel now. I may have explained Rykard's movesets a little bit more in the first video, which I'll also link in the description. But I feel like with modern strats on Rykard, like, you should be set either way. Like, either you're going to wait for the loop and just loop him the whole time in phase 2, or, you know, maybe the absolute easiest thing to do would be crouch poke phase 1 and then loop phase 2. That would be probably the 100% safest way. So, okay, so now we're going to come in here and talk to this guy one time.
Even he, but any road that we make, we hunt and with every.
And this Volcano Manor is a hub. Like, I can't attack or anything. So we're allowed to quit out here. We could warp to the Grace. It's up to you. Do whatever you want. If you quit out, make sure you, like, just to be safe, hit load game and show your in-game time. Just for verifier's sake. That's standard practice on hitless runs. Like, it's important for your first submission to be one continual recording. But let's say, you know, in the future, once you're a member and you're doing like a super long, like, All Remembrances run or something, and you're doing the run in multiple sessions, get in the habit of doing this. Like, always hit load manually. But you can just warp back to the Grace and run down here again. Stripping on stream? Ow. Okay. So after reloading the area via quit out or warping back, we can talk to this guy's chair.
Stripping on stream.
I guess we're talking to his claymore, maybe? Thank you for the bits, Ivy. We're gonna buy Assassin's Gambit and no skill. Now we're gonna warp to Gatefront and Limgrave. And so as you can see, the in-game time right now is about 54 minutes. That seems like a lot, right? Like, we did a big setup and then we killed our first Remembrance boss. 54 minutes. That's actually, like, not too bad for this run. I think the run's going to be maybe 2 hours-ish. We'll have to see what it looks like at the end. That is in-game time. Obviously, this tutorial is going to be a lot longer because I'm reloading saves and stuff. But here I'm just kind of running down this way. When will Mistress Witty strip? SL1 plus 0 playthrough every death. One piece of cloth comes off. Okay, would I get banned or not? Would I get banned? Because under the current Twitch, like, TOS rules, they have these really weird, like, sexist double standard rules where, like, men are allowed to show their nipples but women aren't. Now, I'm technically a man, but if Twitch saw Mistress Witty, would they think I'm a chick and would I get banned? That's my only concern. I don't make the rules. I don't think they're fair, you know, but... You really think so? How bad is it? What is it? Okay, so you can just run backwards here. I backstep because if you despawn him too early, he won't leave. So it's important to not run back too... You can just walk backwards. That's totally fine. Just wait till it says he returned to his world and then you're fine here. But you can just despawn him so you don't have to fight him or anything. And then this is one of the huge benefits of doing Rykard at the start of the run right here. Like, Patches is not a hard boss per se, but you can get hit here, and if you just kill Rykard first, well, spoiler alert, Patches dies. He's just automatically dead. So we can grab his bell bearing. And now we're going back to round table. It's easy to die to him. Like, things can go wrong in there. Like, I'm sure everybody's lost a run to Patches if they fought him on a run before. Like, 100%. All right, so here we're gonna buy the 3 foul feet, which you can totally skip on this run, but the extra endurance levels that we're gonna get by using those will be useful. They will help you in the end, so I think they're useful to grab. And then we're gonna grab Margit's Shackle, and I just wanna double check and make sure we have everything we need from here, which we do. So now we're going to go do some Ash of War stuff here. Yeah, so all of us have experienced it, it sounds like. Usually we do them kind of early in the run, so it's not a huge deal, but still, it's stupid to get hit to that idiot, you know what I mean? All right, so we're gonna do no skill on the torch. That prevents you from accidentally like stabbing with the torch when you're trying to like Assassin's Gambit or something. I'm gonna put Assassin's Gambit on the rapier here, and then I'm gonna put Bloody Slash on the Godskin Stitcher. It doesn't really matter, like you can put it on the Uchi. I guess we have Patch's Spear now. Like you have options. It doesn't really matter what you do here. That should be it, right? Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, we should be good there. We can't upgrade the weapon, but we can level up here. And this part is kind of important, this level up. So my notes say we need to get to 48 strength now. So we can get to 49, which is even better. What do we get after... After Godrick, we get Endurance and Faith, so maybe I'll just put one into Endurance. Like, it does, as long as we get to the 48 Strength, that's what's important there. The other thing that's important to remember here is to change it to nighttime. And change the Physic to be Strength Not Crystal tier and Spiked Cracked tier. And I already equipped the spell, but you can double check that. So now we're gonna go fight Margit, finally. This is a nice cozy kill here too, so you can Gambit now if you'd like. This part, oops, I missed the mushroom. I usually do Serpent Hunter in the left hand. It's up to you. It's just better for buffing if you do that, so keep that in mind. I just run around the left here. Like, a guy will shoot an arrow at you, it doesn't matter. You can Gambit this if you'd like, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. I usually do Gambit, Golden Vow, Seal, personally, but you can kind of do it whatever makes sense. It's nice to have Golden Vow in the right hand, though, because then when you press L2, it prioritizes that. And then you can switch to Flame Grant Strength, do that, and then just two-hand your Serpent Hunter. So here we want Margit's Shackle out. I'll make a save just in case. I shouldn't have to show this more than once, but you never know. Or I guess I'll show this too. Like, yeah, just import your save. I'm gonna rename it Margit. And you can make more than like boss saves, obviously. Like if there's running sections you want to do or whatever. But this is a very straightforward kill. We have Margit's Shackle and Radagon's Sword Seal. So we're just gonna drink the Physic, which we just recently changed. Golden Vow, two-hand Serpent Hunter, and run forward. And then just gonna run forward a little bit, shackle him when we get close, and then double L2. And then just one more hit. About as easy of a Margit as you can get, theoretically. Oops. And we want the bow now. So we want that bow in the left, or yeah, I guess. I do bow in the left hand. You can do whatever you'd like.
It's tightly. The guards, you'll breach them. Well, but of course.
All right, we're gonna make him open the main gate. And remember, we made it nighttime. This is very important to have it nighttime here. As soon as the gate starts to move, I Gambit. And then you can just run up this right side, and you need to crouch about halfway or so. I usually do it like right around this tree. And then just keep hugging the wall. And then they won't shoot at you. Walk to the store, okay. Have fun at the store. Okay. So we're gonna grab this Grace, and then I'm gonna warp to it, because we drank our physic and we want that physic back. So that will reset the physic. I'm gonna gambit before we leave here. This part's kind of specific, like this will take some practice. Another Lily there. You can just run behind these guys, and now we're gonna run up to this tree right here. This little bush. Gambit again. Make sure you have kukris out. We're gonna aim right above this guy, like towards that stripe or so. Throw one kukri. Aim your other one like over here on this wall. And then just run forward towards the tree and cut right. You'll hear that shot. And then you can just run up this left side here. And pick up these kukris. And then tap R2 this guy. Then break line of sight with those guys and re-gambit. I know it's kind of tricky, but bear with me here. And then here, like, I just jump onto here and jump over. I used to be more cautious here, but I found if you just, like, get past this tree pretty quick. There's also some mushrooms here I always pick up. And then I always re-gambit here and look and see if any of those archers are facing me that aren't at ground level. Like, if they're at ground level, they're probably not going to be able to shoot you even if they saw you. But it is possible for them to shoot at you. It's super, super, super rare. So just wait for... Make sure they're on ground level. If they're up on the platform still, just be careful there. All right, yeah, you can totally do that without kukris too. I like to save 2 kukris personally for that part. But yeah, you can do it without. It's definitely doable without. There's several ways. So if you don't like that way, there's other ways you can ask about in Team Hitless, obviously. But that's a good point. That's kind of like the most common way is what I just did there. Most people I watch do it that way, but oh, you know what? We're gonna grab the extra pots here too. So, so for this part, you just have to kind of go around the left side here. So we're gonna just like jump through these boxes. Oh wait, he aggroed. All right, hang on a second. I did that wrong. I'm gonna go reset the area because I must have broken the event box or something, or I don't know exactly what happened there, but let me just rest really quick and I'll do it without that guy aggroing. I totally forgot we were supposed to pick those up. Okay. So let's do this the more proper way here. All right, so you gambit. You just hug the left. Grab that one. You can walk back behind these guys, grab this one, and then just, you know, go back the same way you came, and then you're good. So I don't know. I actually don't know why he aggroed taking that line after I came out here. Maybe I broke the event box and that made him, like, you know, aggro or something. I'm not super sure about that, but 8 more kukris there. So now we have a total of 9 pots that'll come in handy later. Now this part is like, this part is pretty specific. We actually want to set up red feather for this. So we could use Gambit or we could use the Stitcher. Right now I can't wield the Stitcher. So we can do it like the quick way. Like hitting it against the wall. That should be enough. Oh wait. Will one more kill me? Okay, perfect. We don't need this one yet either, actually. Okay, so if I make a save file right now, my health will be stuck here, which is nice if we mess up, so. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting kill. It is sort of specific on timing. I'll kind of show you guys what I'm doing, but basically the idea here is we're gonna run to the bottom of the steps, then we're gonna start walking forward, and he has like kind of 2 openers he likes to do. He likes to do this drag attack with sparks on the ground, or he likes to do like a jump. I'll show both, but if he does the drag, we're gonna wait till we see the sparks and then just immediately charge R2. Now this is where it's important to make sure your talismans are correct. We want red feather and we want axe talisman. We have 48 base strength right now, and we're gonna use golden vow and exalted flesh and our physic. So Physic first, because it lasts 3 minutes. Golden Vow second. That one lasts 45 seconds. And then Flesh last, because it only lasts 30 seconds. And then I'm running forward. I'm holding sprint already. Like, we have sprint buffered here. And we're going to run to the bottom of the steps and then walk forward and see what he does. So, about the bottom of the steps, walk forward. He's going to jump. Run underneath. Charge R2. Double charge R2. Crouch to regen stamina. Double charge R2. Oh, I didn't have the stamina. Okay. If you don't manage your stamina properly, that's not a huge problem here. Just run forward. And do a final one.
I am the Lord.
Okay, so that was the jump opening. I didn't manage stamina. I thought I let it regenerate enough to do 2, but I was just a little bit short there. So that'll take some practice, I think, if you want to do this strat. Eat the flesh. Now I'm buffering sprint on the door here. I don't know if buffering the sprint here matters, but he's gonna jump again. You need to sprint forward so it doesn't hit you. There we go. So you can one cycle him if you manage stamina properly. I want to show the drag attack because that one's harder. It's a little bit more specific. And I feel like I honestly think he does the drag more often, so it's kind of weird to me that he's not doing it, but I want to show it like kind of properly. If he does the drag, the telegraph we're looking for is the sparks on the ground. He's gonna jump again. Is he broken? Like, what's going on here?
I am the Lord.
What's gonna happen now?
Of all that is cold, and one day we'll return together.
Cool. I've never seen that happen before. That's funny. All right, we need to see the drag because the drag's kind of the most important one. Maybe it's because my save file is so close to the door. We're getting some weird like From Software, you know, shenanigans here. Yeah, maybe save state memes, maybe. But we did this earlier and it worked, so theoretically we should be okay here. Oh, I did it too early. Okay, like I said, the timing is very specific there. I saw him do the drag and I got excited and I immediately started to R2, but you need to wait until you see the sparks. So that's it. I tried to get out of it by just doing a tap R2 and then rolling, but maybe I didn't even get the roll off or I rolled too early. All right, let's see what happens. But you need to practice this for sure. Like you need to make sure you have that telegraph down properly. He's gonna jump. We get the idea on that one, right? Maybe it's because I'm running too far forward. Let me not buffer a sprint and see if that matters. I'll just start sprinting once we get in there. Maybe that tiny bit of delay will... Oops, what am I doing? All right, so I'm not buffering sprint now. Now we'll run. That might be it, actually. All right, so did you see the sparks? Oh, I'm late, okay. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done this, and I practiced it like a tiny bit earlier, and I did it one time and called it good. But obviously you wouldn't want to lose a run to that. Like once you get the timing down, you can do it every single time. It's just, oh yeah, don't buffer sprint. Maybe this matters. He's gonna jump. Honestly, the jump's the better opener here, to be honest. It's so easy. You might be able to like outspace the drag and then hit him. Or like roll it and then hit him too. I haven't really tested any of that. I just think that it's cool that you can knock him out of it. So maybe it's not like the most consistent like method. It is cool if you can do it. And I think with practice you could easily do it. You just have to be ready. Man, he really likes to jump. Can you force the jump, I wonder? Like, I wonder if you buffer a sprint, if you'll always get the jump. Like, if you're just close enough to him that he'll never do the drag, you know? If that's the case, I would recommend that, to be honest, because that would be amazing. I wasn't buffering sprint on the door, and by that I mean, I'm going to show you what I mean by buffering sprint. So I'm going to be running onto the door and then press Y. I'm holding down run still. I'm still holding down run. And I'm going to skip the cutscene while still holding down run. And you're going to need to do this later in the run if you want to do what we're going to do. That time I stopped running even before I hit the bottom of the steps and he still did it. I think this is just RNG what we're getting right now, to be honest. Like, he usually does the drag sooner. But if you're practicing it with the buffered sprint, and that's happening like every time, then you're super set on this fight, because that's so easy to deal with, right? Alright, as soon as his axe hit the ground, I'll try to get a headshot there. Okay, so it was as soon as his axe like hit the ground, that's when I started up the attack. So if you want to do it that way, just practice it really, really well so you can do it every time. Like, I haven't done it. I did it once earlier today for practice, and obviously I'm not very good at it right now, but that you can do that. But honestly, the jump's better, right? So just practice that. You can basically, the idea here is to one-shot him out of phase 1. So now if I didn't grab this grace, my last grace visited would be this bridge. So we're gonna go here next. We need Beast Torch. I don't think so. Okay, so for this part, this is pretty easy with Gambit. I usually just run up to like about this tree or so, and then use Assassin's Gambit. That makes you, I guess I didn't really explain Assassin's Gambit yet. Basically, Assassin's Gambit makes you partially invisible and quiet. So it's very useful for getting through places for no hit. And if you kill Rykard, you can just buy it from Bernal at Volcano Manor. But here, literally, we're just running right up the right side. And then we just wait for this guy to shoot right here. That tree just saved us. Just kidding. It hits the ground if it doesn't hit the tree. But anyway, you should have a scripted Godrick, essentially. If you execute it properly, I guess. So I'm going to switch to Sorcy on Axe Talisman now. It doesn't super matter because we're going to get a Talisman pouch soon, so we'd switch it then, but... we can pop Godrick's Great Rune, or Remembrance, on this elevator. And then I'm going to equip the Seal. I usually just put on the Beast Torch for, like, running sections just to have it out. That's just my personal preference, but... in the next running section, there's really nothing that would, like, affect us, but... But anyway, this is how you activate Godrick's Great Rune. I'm sure you guys know that already. No Nothing too crazy here. This is just a big, you know, part of the game or whatever. So we have Godrick's Great Rune, and we've killed 2 Remembrances and 2 Great Runes. So now we're gonna go back to Round Table and grab a couple things. So the first thing is a talisman pouch.
You have now to become the thing as much.
So now we have 3. And we're gonna grab this. This used to be super useful in no hit, and now it's nerfed. It's not quite as good, but we can use it in one key spot here that will make it a bit more useful. Roger's Rapier. Roger's Rapier? And then don't forget to equip your Great Rune. I always forget. So I try to think in my head, like, there's 3 things I need to do here. I need to get the pouch, I need to get the Rapier, and I need to equip this Great Rune. And level up, I guess. 4 things. So we want to get to 10 Faith now. And my notes say 15 Endurance. It is nice to have some Endurance on this run, so... Physics stays the same, nighttime doesn't matter. And then we can pop our Rune Arc. Let's get us 5 in every stat, is basically what that does. Now we're gonna go to... Altus. We grabbed this Grace earlier. I'll show you guys the, well, unless I mess it up, the line I always take here. There's a million ways to run through here. It doesn't really matter. As long as you don't obviously, like, get attacked by something. But I kind of just head east-ish from the Grace there. There are some mushrooms through here, so if you're low on mushrooms at all, make sure to grab those. We're gonna use a lot of mushrooms on this run now that I think about it. How many do we have, by the way? 16. There's another pickup up ahead of like a cluster pickup. We're gonna want those, I think. I'm trying to think where like the mushroom farming Grace is. Like there's some Grace with like a bunch of mushrooms right by it. I can't think of it off the top of my head. All right, so here I double jump towards this pillar and then just like run an arc and come straight up the middle. And then they don't aggro. It doesn't matter if they aggro, but that's like my no aggro line. You can grab these golden seeds if you want, but you shouldn't need them. Then I'm gonna go over here because we want some more butterflies just to be safe for later. Again, these guys can shoot at you, so I like to gambit here just to try to minimize the risk a little bit. We probably don't need a ton. That's a shitload right there, so nobody shot at me. And then I've been taking a line up this right side lately, which is more direct. But there is a mushroom pickup and a rune up here. I think it's probably smart to, like, if this is like your first no-hit run, I think it's probably smart to grab this Grace as a backup in case you want a Memory of Grace out of Draconic Tree Sentinel for some reason. And the rune and the mushrooms are like right here, so... Probably smart to grab this one. And there's this rune right here. Runes don't super matter on this run, but... And there's a pickup of 8 mushrooms. Hey, let me out of here. There's a pickup of 8 mushrooms there, so now we should be really set on mushrooms. I'm gonna show like the no aggro line here. I take a more direct line personally these days, but this is just, you know, like kind of the old tried and true right here. So when you get to this like kind of big rock right there, just gambit. And we're just gonna run up the left side here. Be sure not to fall off. It doesn't have to be nighttime. It should still be nighttime from Stormveil though, I think, so once you get past this final archer, you can kind of cut back over towards Draconic Tree Sentinel. So I usually gambit here. Kind of just run up the right. This guy's pretty dumb. Okay, so talisman-wise, we actually don't need to set up Red Feather for this fight. So we have it on because the other option's Jar Shard right now. But it's super, super not necessary. Let me drop an item really quick. We'll make a save in case something goes wrong here, but this is pretty straightforward. This one's like pretty cozy. Oops, TTS. Okay. So I'm just gonna gambit first. Doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna drink the physic. Golden Vow. He can't hear you, so if you're not like touching the fog door, be careful. Just gonna walk up to him, do a single charge R2. He's gonna jump to the side. Double charge R2. Regen some stamina. And then if he doesn't die, you have time for a second there. Usually it's 5 hits, but I think we have enough. We have like more levels or something, so he dies in 4, but that's literally it. There's a cliff cheese, but you really don't need it on this run. Okay, so levels here actually kind of don't matter. We can just throw it into strength. Okay. So we should be able to do the no aggro line for this capital. I'm not going to show capital skip because that one actually is kind of tricky. Welcome back. Capital skip's kind of tricky, so I'm just gonna show kind of like the no aggro line. I haven't done it in a long time, so we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, like, you can just kind of run by everything here. But there is a no aggro line that's kind of cool. I'll grab this as a backup. I grabbed the Grace on that bridge. It's a good backup to grab in case you forget to grab Ashen Capital or something. I don't know why you would, but kind of the no aggro line here, though, as far as I know, is to just kill this guy and then jump over here and then go around, and nothing should aggro. And then we get another rune out of it too, which is nice. So, and then here you just jump off to the side, jump down to this roof right here. Here's a gambit again here, I think. It's been a long time since I've gone this way, so if I'm doing something wrong. Now I go this way. A lot of people go wide right there. I go this way. I'll show you why in a second. So I go this way because it just, you know, spits me out down this road. There's the low road. I used to take the low road. Lately, I've been taking this high road. I'm just gonna show the high road because I feel like it's tricky, but it's just easier. So gambit before you get up here. You can use the bow line up here if you're a little bit unsure of your free aiming. Make sure you see that hit and wait for him to go towards it and crouch. And he has like wonky aggro, so don't get too close to him. But if you do that, it's totally fine. And then I like to grab this Grace to run to Snowfield afterward. Your setup. Oh, your 3 days are already over? That went by so fast. I guess tomorrow's Friday, huh? That's like a big day for making money. Here I'm holding block while jumping so I don't lose my sprint. You can kind of just like blast your way up this dragon. Here's a rune arc if anybody is on console and wants some extras. That flew by, holy crap. Here I gambit. This way you can just run by right here, but I'm gonna show you another thing you can do. You can just bait him and then just kill him. And that's like theoretically the safest. Now I will say this, if you're planning on switching to Starfist later in the run, grab this Grace because it's obviously up there. And you can just go grab them now, warp back here, and then run forward. Alright, so I run up until I'm close to this first guy, and then gambit. And then I usually kind of just jump over here. And then I run in front of these two guys. I don't know why I do that. They're just like asleep or something. They don't really, doesn't matter. Okay, so this guy up here can hear you setting up Red Feather. So a single charge or two, oh god. If you, don't whiff, but a single charge or two will kill him. Even, I guess, if you're not unaware, but... Alright, so for here... You can unequip Sword Seal if you'd like, and then it's less bloody slashes. We have the stats to wield this, so it's not as fast as before. Okay. I'll just say this, okay? Setting up Red Feather can get annoying. If you're super worried about not having to do that a ton on your run, I would say just don't even use your physic here. Just use your buffs and call it good. Let me make a save file really quick. Because if you kill him without your physic, then you can run straight to Morgott, rebuff again with the physic, and then kill him, and then you don't have to reset up Red Feather. But you're going to want the physic for Morgott, I think. So I'm just going to do this fight without the physic, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. There's kind of like 3 ways to do this fight. With that being said, so in my opinion, it's good to have throwing daggers in this fight. So I guess the first thing I'm going to show is like the axe throw. It's not great in this arena. So I'll first show the axe throw way, and I don't really like this way in this arena, but it is possible. I used to do it on my very first any percent, I think. So we're just trying to get him to like throw his axe, and then charge R2. You still need to know his attacks to be able to get away, right? So we're just trying to sprint at him to get him to throw his axe. But again, small arena. You can go down this alley, but it's kind of dangerous if you do that. You can just outspace that. Charge R2. It's going to be unlocked here, so you can... Don't let your stamina drain too much if you're trying to bait the axe throw. He does like to do it when you sprint at him, though. And let me show you what happens if you get pinned back here, if he doesn't throw it. Okay, well, he threw it, so we didn't get pinned. So that's the axe throwaway. It's not ideal in this arena. And like that time I rolled it because I didn't know if I had space up against the wall. Like maybe it's better to always roll them if you're doing it in this arena. But that is the axe throwaway. Cleavage typing? Okay, so that's the axe throwaway. I don't love that way because of the arena. Oh, I named my save Morgott. That's funny. The other way, there's kind of like a simple way to fight him. All right, so here's another thing we can do with ER tool right here. I can just click 1 HP and it'll just give me 1 HP. So I don't have to reset up Red Feather. This isn't a scripted fight, so it doesn't really matter, but... So the other way to fight him is to kind of roll forward right on everything, and I'm going to try to demonstrate that now. As you can see, like, even without the physic, the damage was really good there for baiting axe throws. But here's what I like to do when I'm fighting him normally. I like to stand right about here and try to get him to bait an attack. You're going to roll forward right, and then just roll forward right on basically everything. Watch your stamina. Make sure you don't run out of stamina. We're going to try to stay on his hip here if we can. Just R1 him. Roll forward right. Stay on his hip. That's like the simplest way to like fight him properly. Like there's a lot of moves there you need to know. But essentially forward right is kind of like the play there. And with this weapon, like just a single R1 is like pretty good damage, right? Oh, so that's how that message got typed from your boob? That's funny. And so I'm gonna try to just like I'll kill him like a third way. This is like the way I prefer to fight him. I like to optimize my punishes. So with bigger weapons, sometimes that's not possible. With Serpent Hunter, luckily it is, but you still really need to watch your stamina. So Flame Grant Strength is very useful here because it regens stamina faster. Hang on a second, I kind of forgot what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not really fighting him super optimally. That's a lot of damage. Jump R1, rolling R1, strafe left, CR2. So that's like a big combo you can do, but it does leave you with like very little stamina. So when he does the overhead axe slam, I prefer strafing left because it lets you start up a charged attack while the attack's still happening. Like you just have to know how far to strafe, and then it goes like over your head. It just like misses you. So like strafing left there is more optimal because it does leave you room for a CR2 or like a square off or like some, you know, something like that. So I'm just gonna like, let me just stay in the fight for a little while and just maybe try to show some of the moves a little bit better if I can, and like repositioning him and stuff. I'm gonna turn on infinite consumables so we can just throwing dagger him. Now I'm gonna show repositioning him with the throwing daggers and stuff too, so. All right, so overhead axe slam. He didn't do anything. I'm gonna get on his hip here. Strafe this. R1. Jump R1. Overhead axe slam. Roll slightly left. Strafe left here. Now we're gonna go back to the other side. Double swipe, you can strafe. Stomp, overhead. 360, strafe left. You can come back across his body. This one roll. So I don't like where he is right now, so we can throw a dagger at him. Let's get him a little bit closer here. All right, so throw a dagger. He'll jump at you. 360. Go back around him. This one you can... I don't love where he's at, so we can reposition him. Boom. Alright, if you're on the other side on that, you want to roll it. So he's not doing anything. Try to stay on his hip. Bait out this one if you can. We don't like where he's at. We're gonna go away. Throw a dagger, get him to come back out here. Overhead. No follow-up. I'm gonna try to get him to do the shove. The shove is very important to know what it looks like. But you kind of get him in a loop here where you don't have to worry about it. I don't love where I'm at right now. There's the shove. We can bait out a combo here. Oh, he didn't do it. Might do a third swipe on that one. 360, go underneath. I'm just walk strafing that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in good position, you can strafe a lot of this stuff without even sprinting. A lot of times it's good just to roll behind and cancel the combo if you can. See if he does a 360 here. Nope. Slightly forward left, and you can like walk underneath that. I'm trying to like kind of showcase the moveset. Oh god, if he does the crazy 360, definitely there's the shove again. Roll that. Roll that. Roll that. Oh, he didn't do the... Sometimes he does the the overhead after that, and you can get him into the slam again. Just trying to showcase his moveset a little bit here. That time I block canceled so I could get around him in time. Block canceled that one too. You get the idea though. Like, if you're gonna fight him, like, you're gonna really need to like kind of learn his moveset a little bit. I don't want to spend a ton of time there, but it is... The axe throws aren't great there. I would highly recommend fighting him, and I would probably just say learn to roll forward right on everything and just roll everything. You know, you have plenty of damage. It's probably the smartest play. So here I run until I'm on the stairs, then crouch. And just walk into this corner till he stands up a little bit. And then walk behind him, or crouch behind him, I guess. If you find that he's aggroing, you're doing something wrong there. But it's also possible to just two-shot him with Serpent Hunter. So here, we still have our physic, because I didn't use it for Goldfrey. Which is nice because I don't have to reset up Red Feather here. We have our 4th talisman now. And this is a pretty cozy kill here. But Goldfrey is a huge wall for people. I would say Goldfrey's kind of like the first skill check of this run, regardless of what build you're doing, unless you're doing like Night Comet or something. So with this particular build, like baiting the axe throws is not ideal in that arena. I would say if you're going to do that, I would roll the axe and not just outspace it. And then you're gonna still have to know how to dodge all of his follow-ups. You know what I mean? So luckily, like with this Elden Ring tool, you can put on like, you know, no death and just stay in that fight forever. I guess on console you can't do that, but I still have 1 HP on from before. Like, it would still be set up here, but the Morgott kill is, like, very, very straightforward. So, drink your Physic, Golden Vow, Flame Grant Strength. Make sure you have the Shackle out. And we're going to run forward to, like, the edge of the smallest circle on the ground. You see that tiny circle in the middle there in front of the chair?
Graceless.
The edge on our side is, like, is where we're running to. I'll show you. We're just going, like, right here and then Shackle. Double charge R2. Crouch to regenerate stamina. Double charge R2. Or you can single charge R2 riposte. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever you feel like. But that's literally it. Just make sure, you know, you have the, we can pop those on the elevator, actually. Damn it, I keep thinking Gambit's on the dagger. Now, the problem with this is that he's on top of the Grace, so you have to switch action to touch the Grace.
Hello again. Allow me a moment. You are prevented the thorns. A husk he only will become my purpose. So I'd like to the flame then and guide.
Okay, so you could level up here. I have runes and stuff to pop, so I'm gonna wait on that for a second. So I'm gonna work back to Avenue Balcony now that we have that rolled medallion. So here we're about an hour and a half through Morgott, and that's with like a really long Goldfrey, right? Like I stayed in that fight for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes maybe. So maybe you'd be looking closer to like maybe an hour 20-ish. Maybe as a first-time runner, you might be a little bit slower through all this stuff, which is fine. But we're still on like a pretty efficient pace, I'd say, which is nice. Just thinking ahead, we're gonna use 4 sleep pots. Oh, I guess I am low on lilies. Okay, so we can get a few more lilies on the way to Fire Giant. I'll show you where those are. But again, we still have the Albanarg village. If we need some, there's like 10 there, 10 or 11 there. There's also some beside Caria Manor, past EG. We could go there as well. If you find yourself low on lilies on the run all the time, you could, instead of going through the academy, you could go to EG and then just go from EG to Bellum Church. And then there's like 5 lilies in a pond where Hoarfrost Stomp normally is. You can get that. Those 5. You just have to know how to dodge the arrow rain that comes down from Ghost Loretta. So on these elevators, I'm gonna pop my runes. Levels don't super matter anywhere on this run. Like you probably wouldn't want to be over leveled on Morgott, or else you might not stagger. And you don't want to be over leveled for Godskin Duo, or else the Noble dies too fast. So I'll show you that in a second here. I'm gonna turn off 1 HP here. So I gambit on this part and throw a Kukri at this pillar. There's a guy on the right, so be careful about him. Run around the left on these guys. Kukri this pillar. I think I hit the ground, but it's okay if that guy chases you. He'll never catch you unless you run out of stamina, so worth noting, I think. So is it nighttime here? Oh, it's morning, okay. If it's nighttime here, there can be a Knight's Cavalry. You can always sit at the Grace here if you're worried about that, but if you just hug the kind of like the right side with Gambit, the Knight's Cavalry won't see you, so it's not like a big problem. Oh, I should have used a Foul Foot on Morgott, probably. We'll do Fire Giant, Maliketh, and Godfrey. I think those are better. That's actually probably better. I'll try to remember that. Actually... Okay, so I like to gambit before I cross this guy. And then this is like, all right, so let's say it happened to be nighttime here. You can just kind of like hug this right side. Like this. And the night cavalry guy won't see you. And then I go right around this tree. The left side has poison traps. You probably wouldn't get poisoned, but, you know, better safe than sorry. Your gambit's gonna wear off like right about here. And then I just hug this right side here. Some runs you grab this Somber 7 up here and this mouth, this skull. So I'm kind of in the habit of like running up by here, but you can take a more direct route or whatever. But if you do this, like nothing's going to aggro. Okay, so Smoker Spectre has a theory / strat that goes as follows. If you run up the right side past Blackblade Kindred without looking back, he will never, ever, ever hit you. And I've been doing it for like over a year, and it's never happened. So, you can do this part however you please, but I'm gonna show you the textbook Smoker Spectre way. You just go up this right side, don't burn all your stamina, just do proper like trotting. That guy didn't attack. You can hear him attacking for like an hour. Dude, he did it! Oh, he did it! Okay. Okay. What a coincidence that that happens on the tutorial. So, if you look back, you can see when he's about to roar, and you can easily avoid it on Torrent. That's so funny that he did it. So, all right, so let's say I'm running normally. If I'm looking back and he does that roar attack, I can just dash to the side, or you could just stop sprinting and just do a dismount. Well, not if I'm on a ramp, but like, you know what I mean? So, that's so funny that it happened. Like, I've been doing it for over a year, and he's never been able to hit me with that. Like, he's never even roared at me. And that time he roared at me. That's so funny. I don't have a grace where I'd go back and like run it again, but so up here we just want to gambit before we get too high up here, and this is for timing. So I just kind of run around here and jump down into this ravine. That was a textbook line too. I did exactly what we always do. And he hit me with the roar. You know what? You know how it happened is the attack that he did, it brought him closer to me than usual. Like normally when he does that attack, he ends up off to the side. And I guess it should be... I didn't really know what I was doing there, but if you take that line, that fireball guy won't see you. And now my gambit wore off here, like because I gambited earlier. You want your gambit to wear off before you're too far across this bridge, or else the timing on this guy's shot will be different. But that's so funny that that happened during the guide. Well, I think Smoker has like 20 gifted subs at stake on that strat. So he shot just now, so we should be good to get past him. But you definitely want your gambit to wear off, or else you might have to dodge that shot or something. So I'm pretty sure Lank bet Smoker like 20 gifted subs that wasn't safe. Or something like that. So... like, we'll have to show that to Smoker and see what he says, because I did exactly what I would normally do there. So, I'm going to show a strat up here, too. When's the next time we're going back to Round Table, anyway? I can't believe it didn't kill... well, it didn't take my health down to 0. Like, it wouldn't have killed me no matter what, because I have no death on, but... I'm actually, like, surprised that didn't kill me. Or, like, you know, drain me completely. I've got... 16 HP. Yeah, he's never ever been able to hit me with that roar. And I think, yeah, normally when he doesn't attack, I think he ends up off to the side. But that time it sounded like he was like kind of tracking me. All right, so I'm gonna light Disgrace, and I'm gonna cast Glint Blades here. This part is actually optional. You don't have to do this. This part is super duper optional, so you do not have to do this on your run. I prefer Seppuku over Bloody Slash. So this is just like an easy like Glint Blade way of getting it. So you just like run to this tree and sit for a second. And then those automatically shoot and give you Seppuku. So we'll use that later, I think. I'm not sure when. Like, I guess we could go back to Round Table. Like, I don't have the Whetstone or whatever. I could equip it myself. But it's not like super duper important. But you could use that from this point on. With the Samurai starting class. I'm gonna Gambit here. By the way, I need to kind of explain what I'm doing through here. Like, the mountaintops aren't super dangerous, but you definitely need to, you want to Gambit here because these archers will see you. And then I'm gonna jump over here. I prefer the invisible bridge way. Some people like to go across the lake. I don't trust fucking Borealis, so I always take the invisible bridge. You can Gambit again there. It doesn't really matter. Like, there is a Lily right by this tree. We're kind of low on lilies, so I should grab that. That's so funny that that happened, though. But yeah, normally he doesn't attack, and he kind of stays stationary. But he did, like, his mega tornado attack. And I think it brought him closer to me than he would normally be. And yeah, he was able to roar and hit me, because that roar only has so much range. Like, if he kind of stays stationary and you run by, and even if he roars, it won't reach you. So yeah, maybe that's so funny that it happened on a no-hit guide. And most people would probably be pretty worried about that on the first run. I haven't been worried about that in, like, since I started doing that strat. That was the first time I've seen it hit, like, him be able to hit me, so. So, you can try to grab that Grace and rest, but the problem is, if you do that, he can come around the corner and hit you while you're, like, trying to sit down. Where's the cute girl I've been watching? Yeah, I'm no longer a hot chick. It's kind of depressing. Being a hot chick was pretty sick. But yeah, I guess if you want to be super careful there, just turn your camera back, and then if he does the roar, just zig to the side, and then you'll be fine. But I'm doing pretty good, dude. We're making a new Serpent Hunter tutorial today. And we just disproved Smoker's Blackblade Kindred theory that's been, you know, out there for like over a year. I always watch these two guys and make sure they're not too close here. But there's several ways to go here. I always go to the right around this tree. And I always grab this Grace in case something goes wrong in Fire Giant and you want a Memory of Grace out. Less questioning my preferences. Yeah, see, that's the problem with Mistress Witty, is it really, like, sexually confuses everyone. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, like, you know, make things challenging for people in that way. I'm just go full strength here. It doesn't matter. I usually wait to level till here, because we're gonna like pop those runes on the elevator and stuff, and then, you know, if we're gonna Memory of Grace out of here, 9,000 runes, that like super doesn't matter. We could go back to Round Table and grab Seppuku if we want. I'll just go back there when we get to +10 and then do it there. But so yeah, here you know, use your Bloody Slash to set up Red Feather or whatever. I'm gonna drop an item here. This is a bit of a tricky spot here, so. All right, I'm gonna turn on 1 HP on the tool just to set it up really quick, but So for this fight, I didn't craft sleep, did I? Okay. We're gonna use 2 sleep pots in phase 1. There's a way to bait the same opener every single time on this fight. And that's what we're gonna do. And it just takes out basically all of the RNG on the run. It does take a bit of skill as far as like where to stand and stuff. I'll run it at least a couple of times so you guys can see. And there's like a chance I might like miss a weak spot or like mess up phase 2 somehow. So I'll show you, I'll run it until I get it perfect, and we'll kind of like talk about like what went wrong or whatever as we go. But basically we're gonna run up here, and like at this rock, like just past this rock, this like just past like this grass in front of me is where it's gonna trigger him. So I want to trigger him first. Golden Vow, Flame Grant Strength, 2 in my weapon, drink, and get on Torrent. And we're just gonna kind of like try to get him to bait the snowplow if we can. All right, he's gonna do that. This is even better. So I want to stand like in front of him a little bit, and then charge R2 the anklet. Double charge R2 here, and then jump R2. Oh, I whiffed. See, this is a problem. So you probably bone out here if this happened on a run. You would probably bone out there. So if that happens on re-entry, he's going to start walking at you right away. So just buff as soon as you walk in the door, and then try to bait that same thing. So, you have more time there than I think, but basically you do a jump R2 there. All right, so Physic first, Golden Vow second, Flame Grant Strength third. Get your weapon, get on Torrent. Drink of a mana. You can walk forward some. So he's doing Snowplow. I'm gonna dismount Torrent just to deal with that. He did it again. He's being a dick. Now he's finally doing the slam. Just wanna make sure I'm standing in the right place. Break the anklet, double CR2 the weak spot if you can. We have some stamina left here, which is nice. Oh, I don't have my fucking sleep pots on. God damn it. My save file didn't have sleep pots. It's good to show this a few times, right? Like, make sure we're... I'm making these mistakes on purpose. I mean, I haven't used this weapon in ages, but it is a really good weapon. Alright, we have sleep pots now. That's why I practice at the start of stream with this weapon, just to, you know, hopefully avoid some mistakes, but it's good to show some too, like, that way you can see what not to do when things go wrong, stuff like that. It's so funny that Blackblade Kindred thing happened, though. I basically just dismount once I see the snow coming at me. So now he's gonna do the slam. This is the opener we want. You just gotta like learn where to stand here. Now we're gonna throw 2 sleep pots at the ground, like right under his foot. You can lock on, but there's a chance they can miss. Ah, that didn't hit the weak spot. Okay. So the reason we break, then stagger, then sleep is that those last 2 hits are adding poise damage towards phase 2. So we did 2. So 2 more should stagger him to the hand. So I'm gonna walk forward and Flame Grant Strength again. I'm gonna walk up to this bush right here, and then I'm gonna double CR2 the hand. I'm gonna try not to get too close to it. I'm gonna double CR2 the eye. Okay, so we didn't quite die because that flame pillar was in the way. And then you can just free aim a kukri directly to his eyeball and it will kill him. That's actually, like, that shouldn't happen. We got really unlucky with the RNG there, but I'll run it again. I'll run it again. And I need to remember to foul foot too. I keep forgetting. Fully believe it's on purpose. Okay. I believe you can believe that. That's fine. Okay. So that was nearly textbook, except there was a fire pillar blocking the eye, so I had to wait a little bit longer to go in there, but... Okay. But this should go the same way every time, provided you... do it properly. Alright, doing snowplow. Now he's doing the run. You stand like kind of right about here. And you have a lot of time here, so... that wasn't a weak spot hit, but that's fine. We're gonna crouch to regen stamina. Try to hit the weak spot here. Damn it, didn't hit his fucking... That's fine. I think like a jump R2 should be fine. If you have to hit him a third time, that's fine. He's not gonna stagger right away. Or it's not gonna like stagger him there, you know. It's good to try to hit the weak spot though. You wanna like hit the ankle, not the foot or the calf. Damn, it's a little bit short. So if I don't miss a weak spot in phase 1, that's probably a perfect script. And so I should say this: when I'm trying to free aim the charge R2s to the eye on the chest, I'm aiming for like the left lid. If you aim center eye, you'll probably not hit the weak spot. So that will take like quite a bit of practice as well. And I highly recommend free aiming with Serpent Hunter in this fight because it's just easier to hit what you're looking at. So I'll try to get it one time perfect, but I should maybe show what happens if you don't quite have enough damage. Like he did a good attack where he dropped on, like he did like the elbow drop. I would like to see it one time perfect if we can here, because this is kind of a notoriously bad fight for no hit. But with Serpent Hunter, it's theoretically really good. Like we have a really good way to deal with him, I should say. Super rare for him to do snowplow twice in a row. Oh, that was a good weak spot hit. So free aiming this one's been... That wasn't a weak spot. That was a weak spot. Okay, this might be okay. I only missed one weak spot hit right here. We should need 2 on the hand here. Don't swing too early, obviously. Okay, that's what you want right there. That's like the ideal. I only missed 1 weak spot in phase 1, and then I didn't miss any on the eye or anything. I forgot to foul foot too. Let's run it one more time. I keep forgetting, like... Maybe I should purposefully try to show you what to do to save it. Because if he only has a sliver of health left, like, you probably don't want to bone out on that, you know what I mean? Like, you're wasting sleep pots and stuff like that. If I happen to mess it up, I'll try to save it. But this is like really easy to practice for. Like you can get this down to where it's really consistent. It's all about like positioning and stamina management. And you can give yourself more stamina before this. Like the strength levels I took aren't super necessary. And I'll explain that in a second after we kill this guy. because there's a certain level of strength that we don't want to cross for Godskin Duo. So we're gonna stand like right about here. You have like a lot of time. Like, you can wait till you see exactly where his ankle is so you don't mess it up. Another weak spot. That hit the back of his foot. That's a weak spot. This should be textbook here. If that happens, you can jump attack the head like that if you need an extra hit. Alright, I'm just gonna roll forward here. Yeah, so if I waited to hit the hand a little bit longer there, so I think his poise reset a little bit. So if that happens, you can jump attack the head. Smoker, guess what happened, dude? Guess what happened, dude? So I was teaching the future runners about, you know, pathing and how to get, like, you know, to Fire Giant. And I showed them like the most textbook fucking lines you can imagine, dude. And something bad happened. Something bad happened. Okay, so here, we do not want to go past 67 strength when we level up, or else the Godskin Noble or Duo script is off. So you can put the rest into endurance if you want. Like, it doesn't super matter at this point. I do like to have the extra endurance personally. So just don't cross 67. You can hang on to them if you want, but I mean, the extra, we're probably going to end about 30 endurance, so it doesn't really matter. We just don't want to cross 67 here. I didn't mess it up, dude. You can watch it back, dude. I did a perfect line up the right side, didn't look back, didn't like, I managed my stamina well, and he did like his mega tornado. And you know how normally he like does it off to the side? This time it seemed like he mega tornadoed like up the stairs towards me, and then he growled and it hit me. But I did the same line we always do. I don't think we clipped it.
Long this world and death are you
I don't think.
Commit.
But it'll be in this guide, dude. It'll be in the guide. I'll make sure I bookmark it. Don't tell Link. Why? Because you owe him 20 subs now? I'll keep my mouth shut, but I can't guarantee no one will tell him. Edit it out. It actually makes me worried now, dude, because like I've ran by him doing that for like over a year now. No issue, dude. Like I've been doing it as long as you have, pretty much. I'll clip it afterward, and we can see if I maybe took a slightly wrong path. Okay, so hit the floor and make that guy jump up there, and then you can just literally run along this line like the whole way through here. Like if you run on this line with Gambit, you're totally cool here. And then here, I just run a straight line towards that door on the other side, just because that's where I'm going. I mean, dude, I've done it the same way I've been doing it on like every run, like lately, you know. And like usually when I do it, if you're there to see, you say textbook, right? And so, I mean, I don't think I messed it up. I'll show the no aggro line here too. So enter this room, then Gambit. That gets that guy moving. Lets you regenerate some stamina too. And then I go behind this guy and jump up here. This is like the full no aggro way, at least that I know of. Gambit again here by the statue. That lets that guy path that way. And then I'm trying to line up myself to jump onto this railing. Like this. Then jump one more time and then jump over here. And then nothing should aggro. There's a lower level no aggro way, okay. Does that require like sneaking maybe? I did it differently on all remembrances because I wanted that cookbook. Or whatever, spell book. I've been lately going this way just because I don't like this guy jumping out, but it's totally safe if you run by this guy that jumps out. Just gotta crouch, okay. I like that upper way, it's kind of fun. Like cool parkour. Okay, so if something were to go wrong in Godskin Duo, so I am out of Lillies. I need one, well, I don't really need one more if everything goes perfectly. But I do have all the ones under Albanarg Village we could get, so. I always sit here because you are travel locked otherwise, so if something goes wrong in Godskin Duo, you can Memory of Grace out and there's a way back in there. But if you're travel locked, it doesn't work, so I always sit here. New routing acquired, nice. Here you can Gambit if you'd like. I guess maybe, let me, well, okay. So we're gonna set up Red Feather for this fight, but we also need to use Gambit. So I should maybe show kind of what I would do here. So I've Gambited what? I've Gambited once so far. Let me make a save file really quick. This fight's pretty straightforward. Like, some things can go wrong, but it's not too crazy here. I'm making a duo save really quick. Like, I'm in the arena, but I can still make a save. It'll just put me outside the door when we load back in. So like, okay. So we would have Gambited once so far, right? Oh, I guess this doesn't work up against the wall anymore, but whatever. So I'm going to Gambit again, so we don't want to lower our HP too much right here. I'll probably stop there, actually. So, okay, so that second set of, like, I don't know, coffins on the ground or whatever, we're going to run, like, to this edge, the front edge of that second one. We're gonna run to the front edge until they spawn and then backstep twice. Just so everybody's on board with what we're doing here, so. And we have 2 sleep pots. You could have more if you wanted to be safe. So that actually gave us Red Feather. We're in Red Feather range now. We're just gonna walk forward until we touch this. Backstep twice. Aim max height, throw 1, pause. And then throw a second one. I just waited for my character animation to reset back to neutral. That should sleep both of them. Okay. So now, this is where the 67 strength is really important. We want to hit this guy in the front so it's not an unaware hit. Double charge R2, R1, and then riposte him. And then double charge R2 the body. Okay. Regenerate stamina. We're gonna charge R2 this guy. Immediately riposte, because he's still asleep. And then charge R2 the body. And that's literally it. I would heal after this, by the way, just because you don't want to die. I'm not even gonna show that more than once. Like, that's, just do it that way and you're good. Alright, I'm gonna smack this pillar so the guy underneath hears it. Maybe I should show the easier way here. I've never done it, though. You jump through this window, right? Is it this one? The third one? Yeah, so you jump through that window, jump over here. Otherwise, you jump onto this pillar right here. But it's a little bit more precise to jump onto the pillar. And you can put on Beast Torch here if you want to be super careful. I didn't do that, but maybe that's probably what I would recommend. Put on Beast Torch and Gambit, and then jump out that window. You should be fine. Don't forget the most important part, then throwing sleep pots. Admire that butt. Oh, like this, because of the camera angle. I'm actually like out of sleep pots for the rest of the run. So, I mean, I can get more, right? Like, we know where to get more. Maybe I should show that really quick. Because they were saying I should show bird skip on this run. We need to go back to base game to get a talisman soon. So, let me just do bird section one time, and then we'll do, It doesn't matter if we rest here, right? Let me go through bird section. No more ass shots. You need to crouch here. You can just run and drop off here. Drop off here. Watch where the red lightning is. I like to gambit again underneath here. Just watch the red lightning here. You can wait a cycle if you'd like. I'm gonna go to the edge of this roof, and I'm gonna do a mighty shot. I gotta wait for his head to fall down, I think. Oh, it actually hit him. That's good. If you see the health bar pop up, he will run away. But you gotta wait a second. Then here, we're gonna drop down, crouch, charge R2 this bird, crouch again, and just run up this left side until we're about at the tree or so, and then we're good. Now, if you're doing bird section, you may as well grab this somber 10 up here. So, if not, we'll grab one in the capital afterwards. I'll show you guys where to get that one too. If you happen to want to do bird skip, bird skip does skip some danger, like, I'm not gonna lie. It is FPS dependent, so if you have low FPS, you might not want to do it, or if you're having problems doing it, it might be because you have low FPS or whatever. So I'm gonna gambit before I go around this corner. I like to kukri this wall right in front of me. I actually hit the ground, which is even better. And then I like to just go around the left while sneaking. That guy should do nothing. If you do it right, that guy will do nothing. Okay, another cool strat here. Gambit before you go in. Just like briefly touch the water and come back out. That'll like hit the event box, and then you can throw a kukri. And then they'll all go for that. Kind of wait for this guy to come out of the side here. And then you don't have to like worry about those guys. So that way it takes what, like 2 kukris? I don't think you even have to do the first one if your timing's really good, but I like to do it just to be safe. Again, I never do bird section anymore, so I'm not 100% sure about the strats there. Okay. So now we have to do a couple things in base game. I'm gonna show you guys where the lilies are, because I'm out of lilies. So, and I'll show bird skip as well. So we're gonna go to Village of the Albinarchs. We ran by there earlier when we got Vow of the Indomitable. If you're doing the crouch poke strats for Rykard, you don't need Vow of the Indomitable, so you can skip that part. But this is nice to have, this grace, in case you run out of lilies or whatever. I guess I can also show where some other lilies are too. All this stuff is like pretty relevant to have, right? Or to know about. You don't even need Gambit for this, but... So this tree is kind of what you're aiming for. The first lily is like over here on the right, and then there's a shit ton around this tree. Now I'll show the ones by EG, because there's... If you go to EG earlier in the run, you can take this way to get to Volcano Manor. So I'll show this really quick while we're here. Just in case you run out of lilies somewhere on the run, it could definitely happen. They're a little bit more tight on this route than I thought they might be. If you just follow up, you basically just hug this right side pretty much. Like none of that stuff will hit you. It might kill your FPS, but gold eyes on that guy in the back. Anyway, we're kind of heading just east, I guess, for along, like once we hug the right, then head east. And then down here, there are... I passed one. So there's one here. One here. Two here. There's 2 mushrooms back here that I see Smoker grab sometimes. Like, you never know if you're going to be low on mushrooms. And we're about to use a shitload, so it's probably good to grab these. And then there's one more here. And then all you have to do is cross this rock bridge. I'll show you this like little skip you can do here. And now you're at the Bellum Church. This guy sells rune arcs if you're on console, you want some extras or whatever. And then basically earlier in the run, we crossed through here. So you could take that way if you want to get like 5 extra lilies on your route. Like that's totally a good option. All right, so now we're going, I guess, should I show bird skip now? I guess it doesn't, let's not do bird skip quite yet. I'll show it in a second. I know it's a little bit out of order, but let's go do the Dragon Barrow thing really quick. Okay, so now we want Stone Barb tier. You don't have to do this part, honestly. This is the only boss we're going to use it on. It does give you a scripted Maliketh, but it's really not necessary. Like, you can just fight him. I guess I'll show you guys how to just fight him, too. Because it is possible to script him, but it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. It's, like, very specific, like, spacing and timing. Alright, so we're gonna go up this tree right here. And you kind of want to get like stuck in this little nook right here, like where these leaves are. Like, I shouldn't be able to run forward, if that makes sense. And then like the firebombs scale with strength. So our physic is going to help us with these. They also get boosted by Golden Vow and Flame Grant Strength. But we're just gonna, like, you can maybe do a bow line up here, but you want to, like, aim at that avatar, like, just over the top. And just shoot your whole fucking shot here. He's gonna start doing golden lands, but it shouldn't be able to hit you if you're in the right spot. Okay, I thought they were missing him now. That's actually not bad damage. Like, that's about half his bar, maybe. He's gonna, like, migrate around for a while. And then I can craft more. I guess make sure you have plenty of, like, supplies for that, you know, before you come here or whatever. Rebuffing helps save some. Make sure you're stuck. Sometimes he'll like move around and it won't count. Just make sure they keep hitting as you're throwing. Okay, so that's how we kill that guy scriptedly. It's not the greatest. There used to be an easier way, but because of nerfs, we can't do that anymore, unfortunately. So now I'll craft myself another sleep pot for the bird skip. Alright, bird skip. Again, not super necessary. Also, we did grab that Somber 10. I don't think you want to use that Somber 10 yet, though. If you want to do the Maliketh script, you'll probably do too much damage. So, thank you for the GG, Jode. How you doing? So for bird skip, there's a few ways to do this. I just gambit, sprint onto this planter, sprint jump over. Everybody does it kind of a different way, I think, dropping down. Like, as long as you have a consistent way, you're good. I mean, they're probably better, but like, I don't even know where you get that, and it's probably out of the way on this run, so. And maybe I don't know if they scale with strength or not, you know? But yeah, that might be a good idea. Well, I mean, the whole point of this run is to show like a somewhat efficient route too. So I'm just aiming my head at the top of this like pillar thing in front of me, and that should sleep this guy. And then I just walk in, like in between this first little post and the second, I walk in between those two till I'm kind of stuck. And then I aim my compass at this like pillar right here. And then you jump over and stop hitting anything. And then here we just have our camera turn slightly. You're just gonna walk forward and jump as soon as you hit the round pillars. And then here you just go straight and then like jump over. And it's very consistent once you get it down. And if you mess it up and you fall, you can map warp. But it takes a lot of practice to be able to like map warp, because if you bring up your map, I can't do it on a ladder. If you bring up your map and press Y too soon, it won't work. And then so if you bring up like, all right, so if I bring up my map and press Y right away, nothing happens. But if I bring up my map, pause, then hit Y, then this menu happens, and then I can hit like X twice to warp, right? So if you bring up the map and press Y too fast, you'll place a marker like that, and then you're dead. So it's good to show. I don't see a lot of first-time runners doing it, but at least like it is an option if you're scared of bird section for some reason. They scale with strength. Oh, the merchant at Mount Gelmir. So that'd be like hell of out of the way. That'd be like a 10-minute detour maybe or something like that. And what are the ingredients too? Scaling's not as strong. Okay. Yeah, I've never tested it personally, but like fire pots you get right away with the crafting kit. It's just kind of easy, so that's why we do it. That's a good point though. But kind of the whole point of this run is to try to like make the route like as efficient as possible. Like right now we're at 2 hours and we're almost done, which I think is decent for like a first any percent. Plus I've maybe been like stopping to explain stuff. If I was just running through, I think I'd be like quite a bit more efficient here. Okay, so we're gonna go Stone Barb now and Charge Attack tier. And then, I mean, leveling, I think I maybe went to like... We're gonna stop at 79, so it doesn't really matter when we get there. So I'm just gonna put up my points into Strength for now. Nice banger, by the way. Oh, like if you need to keep making them, that makes sense. I usually gambit like near this bush right here, and then start sneak walking, you know, before you hit this item. Then he should just walk right past you, or sprint or crouch running or whatever. I believe we set up. Yeah, we're going to set up our TSR for this fight. So I'm just going to use the tool. Is there? Oh yeah, the other thing we need to do is have on Roger's rapier here. I'll show you the script. It's kind of tricky, to be honest. It took me a while earlier to get it perfectly, but it is possible to get a scripted kill here. And if you have to Memory of Grace out, it's still possible. So I'll try to show it both ways, and then I'll show you how to like kind of fight him too a little bit, because it's always good to know it's like a backup, especially if you're trying to get away in Memory of Grace. You need to know when it's safe. Okay, so the script, if you want to script him, it's a hard script. I'm gonna say that straight up. Like, it's tough. It's a tough one to do. And I want to say earlier we skipped a buff here because it was too much damage. I think I skipped Flame Grant Strength. So we have Stone Barb in the Physic now. That only lasts like, I think it's 30 seconds. It's very short, whatever it is. It might be 25 seconds or something. So we don't want to drink that one first, or it'll wear off before we go in there. So I'm only going to Golden Bow here, and then I'm going to switch to the Rapier. Then we're going to enter, and we're going to cast the Glint Blades. Switch to Serpent Hunter and run forward a little bit, and then drink. And now you need to do this unlocked on. You need to be facing away. Okay, so he's not doing the right thing here. All right, it might still work. You need to free aim, roll these. Okay, so it still worked. We're gonna take the riposte. And then charge R2. If he delayed any more, this would not work, by the way. Okay, so at the start of phase 2, I'm gonna hit backstep and I'm gonna hold it down because that buffers my sprint if it's held down like that. So I'm gonna skip the cutscene, backstep once, and hold down the backstep button so that way it's just my sprint is buffered. It gives you a little extra time when you run in, okay? So skip this, backstep once and keep it held down. Wait for the swipe and then run forward and then do a double charge R2. Or tap R2, I should say. Charge R2 into tap R2. Try to free aim it towards his head so you have a little bit more time and then charge R2. It's a very complicated script, so I'm gonna try to... And then I guess we would foul foot here. I'll try to do it a couple of times. I want to show you guys what happens. Like, so that time he stalled for one attack and then he ran at us. We're very lucky Stone Barb didn't wear off there. So normally if he stalls like that, you need a Memory of Grace out if you want to do this script. So let me just see, like, run it a couple of times, and then I'll show you kind of like another way to do this without Stone Barb. Like, you could skip Stone Barb completely on this run if you do it a different way. So we're only going to Golden Vow. Walk in, immediately cast Glint Blades. And the reason we're skipping Flame Grant Strength is because we don't want to transition him on the riposte. All right, so here he's running right away. Roll the stab, roll to the side, roll to the side. He did the third follow-up. Get the right spacing. This is a really... Oh, see, I missed my attack, okay? So that's why it's really important to have that spacing down. Like I said, it's a very hard script. Now, you can save it if you want. Like, this is savable. We're just going to bait the slam again. Charge R2. This is how you bait the slam. I usually roll into that, but I wanted my spacing back. He's gonna do this. Okay, so this might work. Kind of the idea here is to bait the slam and then let his poise reset before the final hit. I think that was enough time, but I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna backstep, hold it down, run in. This should stagger. And this is without Flame Grant Strength even, so you have plenty of damage here, and I'm only +9, by the way. So, like, you can save it if that happens. If you know how to fight him, that is. So I'll try to do the script again. It's very tight. Like, the spacing you need to be... Like, you need to reach the correct spacing to start up the L2, and the L2 takes forever. So you have to... You have very little window. Like, that time the L2 missed, right? The first time it did miss, that time it missed. So there's a chance that if it misses, he can do an attack that can hit you. Like, he did an attack that that didn't even, like, hit me. Like, it missed. So I want to show the scripted Maliketh. It's just, I'm telling you, it's pretty hard to pull off. It's a pretty hard one to pull off. You remember to drink the physic. Make sure you look away so they don't shoot early.
Not have it stolen from me again.
See, like, you get Memory of Grace here, right? Let me actually do that. I'm gonna try to get somewhere safe. Like behind a pillar. I'll Memory of Grace and we'll go back in. And see if we can get it to work again, because the good news about the re-entry is that he tends to run at you like you want him to. The bad news is you have less space to work with, so... I did switch to Stone Barb, right? Like, that should have stunned him right there. Unless he had Hyper Armor, maybe? Oh, probably because the glint blades didn't shoot. It might be better to turn back towards him, like when you're about to do the L2. You just have such little time. It's hard to do. So I'm gonna make a re-entry save here so we can practice the re-entry. But you do have options here. You can always just bait the slam over and over, charge her to the head. I'm gonna make a new save here. This is the re-entry. So the re-entry is a little bit different here. So the main difference is we need to drink the physic before we walk in, because we have less time, right? So we want to make sure we have the glint blades out, drink the physic, and then immediately walk in, and then immediately glint blade. And if you can run up a little bit first, that's nice. I'm a little bit late on that L2, by the way. Like it should be going off. Like I need to be starting it a little bit sooner, but you want to make sure you get the correct spacing first, or else he'll hit you on the slam. So it's going to take a lot of practice, but at least on the re-entry, you can just keep trying for it over and over. Tap R2 towards the front if you can. Try to get your character up here, that way you don't miss the riposte. And then just charge R2 and he'll die.
Witness tarnished. Why cover destined?
So it is a scripted Maliketh, but it is very precise. So if you're going to do it, make sure you have it down, you know? Oh, it auto split for Gideon. Maybe because I killed that guy twice. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, I could try to fight him more. I feel like the most simple way to fight him is what I was doing. I was just baiting the slam, and he can do it from a bunch of different attacks. But that's essentially what you want to... Like, the easiest way to fight him is just bait the slam over and over. And then before the final hit that's going to push him into phase 2, like, let his poise fully reset. And it only takes, like, a little over 6 seconds. So we don't have a physic here. Make sure you do this. I'm going to show you guys where the other Somber 10 is really quick, because if you did do bird skip, you're going to want the Somber 10 that's here. And then we'll go upgrade to plus 10 after this, and then we'll do the rest of the run. And like the in-game timer here is about a little over 2 hours. I think on a non-tutorial that might be quite a bit shorter. So I'm estimating that this run will be 2 to 2.5 in total, somewhere in there, like for a first run, which is pretty good. It's pretty good compared to some of the like the Iron Balls runs we've been seeing like come into Team Hitless lately. Some of them are like 3 up to like maybe even like 4.5 hours, which is very, very long comparatively. Like you could run this, you could do 2 attempts on this run in the time it takes to do 1 of that one. And I don't think this one's like, if any, I think this one might actually be easier, if I'm being honest. So here I'm just waiting for this dude to like turn that way. Make sure he's not close. He won't really see you if you have Gambit on. But here's the other Somber 10. I guess we'll go to round table here. Yours will be long. I mean, that's fine. I mean, not everybody's quicker, but like the thing about this route is like, even if you aren't a fast runner, at least it's an efficient route. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of stuff to do, you know? All right, so I want to upgrade to plus 10 and put, I guess we're going to put Seppuku on now. I haven't done it yet. Like it's totally optional. Seppuku's not necessary. I'll show you how it works though, at least. So we can just like throw it on the Uchi, I guess. And then we're gonna go plus 10 on here. And yeah, that'll be fine. And we can level up. So go back to Ashton Capital. And then like I said, like you can save some time with red feather setups. Like, don't use your physic on Goldfrey and then use it on, save it for Morgott and you don't have to reset up red feather. Like that's kind of a nice little trick. All right, so it's 79. We don't need to go past 79. The rest should go endurance. I'm gonna do something kind of cheeky here really quick that you are not allowed to do on a no-hit run, but on a practice run like this, we are allowed to do. And that is Ride Torrent here. Another advantage of the tool, there's a box here that says, you know, Torrent Anywhere. I probably should have done this earlier, but I wanted to show all the running sections properly. Here's another rune arc, by the way, if you're running on console and you need some extra rune arcs. Otherwise, yeah, like there's really no enemies on this direct path right here, so you can just run up here, but... I'm gonna turn off 1 HP so I can show you guys how seppuku works. So it is like class dependent. So like, if you have Samurai, Godrick's Great Rune, and Radagon's Sword Seal, it's 3 seppukus to get down into Red Feather range. So it's like marginally faster than doing Red Feather. I'll make a save file here. So I never changed my physic back, but you don't need to use your physic here, by the way, so... Make a Gideon save. So this kill kind of goes the same way every time. This is Golden Vow.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden.
Flame Grant Strength.
To become Elden Lord. It's a sad state of
Once he says a sad state of affairs, you can hit him, double L to him.
She'll take the throne.
And just walk forward a little bit and charge R2. That's it. That's literally it. You can do it right in his face if you want. It doesn't have to be from behind. But now we have Red Feather set up already for Godfrey. Because our physic is still active. And if you drink the physic here, it's not enough to kill him in 2 hits anyway, so... Not really worth it in my opinion. It's just short on damage. And we have like a total of 99 strength when we drink the physic and stuff, so... Not super worth it in my opinion. But we're nearly done now. So... Oh, Smoker, I don't know if you're still listening, but the strat we worked out earlier, the way where we fight him, one of the times when I got to phase 2, he was in negative poise. So I did break him somehow, and I'm not really sure, like, I didn't like count the types of R1s I was doing, but it definitely didn't work out perfectly, which is unfortunate. So I'll show both ways and we'll just see what happens. Okay. So, we do have... I'll show the kind of scripted way first, and then I'll show you like the more aggressive way. So... So we didn't drink our physic for Gideon. These runes don't super matter. And... What was I gonna say? And we still have our physics, so we don't have to reset up Red Feather. That's like, it's just a conveniency thing. Like, if you want to sit down and level every time, you can. It's up to you, but like, I mean, the less you have to actually like set it up, the better, in my opinion. Not do jump R1s. Maybe that's too much poise damage. The problem is with the Serpent Hunter, the regular R1 is 15. Like, it's so high for a regular R1. And whereas like a rolling R1 is probably like 8. But yeah, maybe no jump R1. Maybe I'll try no jump. Maybe I'll try no jump attacks. We'll try that. We'll see if that works. I'm gonna do the XE special first, though. Oh, you know what? I actually forgot. I forgot to change. All right. So here's the advantage of the Elden Ring tool. Okay. So I forgot to change my physic. So we can just click Mix Physic with the tool, and then take out Stone Barb and put it back to Strength tier, which we're gonna use on this boss and the next boss. So you really only use Stone Barb for Maliketh. So on this fight, I'm going to show you the XZ special. All you do is drink your physic to start off this fight. And we're going to run away. We're just going to run away here. We're gonna try to get him to do the axe throw. Maybe not in the corner. Okay, so we want that, but obviously not into the corner, so. So remember, no lock on and just kind of sprint in. Try to get him to do it. He might have a cooldown on it, I'm not 100% sure. It might just be RNG. Here we go, we're just gonna run away and outspace it. Charge R2. And we need to roll his attack. And we need to do this twice. Okay. I don't love where he is right now, so I might bait one more if I can. And then go to the other side, because we do need to rebuff here. Okay. So we baited one more, that's good. So now we're gonna buff. Just make sure you have like a ton of spacing here. You don't want him to like throw his axe at you while you're trying to do this shit. I'm gonna throw a dagger here, make sure his poise doesn't reset. Oh, he's doing some fuckery right now. This is savable, by the way. Double charge R2. Okay. So I kept his poise up by throwing daggers. This is actually terrible RNG. Like this is not what you want, by the way. We're gonna charge R2 this. Crouch and let stamina recover a little bit. I recommend not attacking right away here to make sure that he's gonna go into the roar. Because he can queue up something else. It's rare, but it can happen. So that was very bad RNG, and I was able to save the script by throwing daggers to keep his poise from resetting. So I'm gonna run it again and see if we can get it like in a more clean way. He was just being a prick right there. Like he's supposed to do the roar after the third one, and he was just being a prick. So not ideal there. But again, throwing daggers are super useful in this fight. So do you think you add Stone Barb in where you did the R1 strat earlier? So maybe we stagger him earlier, and then I can just not take the riposte, let him stand up and roar, and then put him into phase 2 with perfect poise. That might actually work, Smoker. We'll try a couple of things. I want to do the XE special once, like kind of, you know, textbook style. All right, if he's gonna do this, just throw a dagger at him. And then, like, you know, get away. Like bait the attack and then get away, you know? Like just, if he's gonna be a dick like that, like take advantage of it. That was a little bit close. So we need to bait 2 axe throws. He likes to do it when you run in, right? If you roll forward right on everything, it'll pretty much cancel any of his combos. So here we can go back and buff. We should have space. Oh, this is way too... Oh, I didn't get him. We need to save this with a throwing dagger. Okay. I whiffed. We're gonna have to add in another attack. His poise just reset on that final hit. So you wouldn't know this on the live run, right? Like, you would be fucked. Maybe it's better to back away. And then you can hit him, but if he's not gonna poise break, then you're kind of cucked. In fact, XE does do the back away on the run. So you could Memory of Grace here, obviously. Nice whiff. Damn, I'm rolling in the wrong direction there. Here you just memory of grace, probably, you know? You know? Oh, I don't have RTSR active. Oh, right, duh. I forgot to turn that off. What a knower, yeah. Maybe that's why it wasn't working properly. Like, I wasn't dealing enough damage to make him do the yell or whatever, right? Oh, it's probably because for one, I don't have 1 HP on, but I did reload the save. So it worked the first time, but then it wasn't working the second time. Thank you for noticing that, because yeah, that makes sense. So let me do it one more time, and we'll just see if we can get it perfect. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens here. And then I'll show you guys kind of how to, like, fight him, you know? You future... So here, again, like, I'm just gonna throw... Oops. I thought he was gonna do a stomp. There's like a sweet spot where if you run in, he'll want to do it. But I'm guessing there's some kind of cooldown on it. Here we go. Okay, that's one. Okay, we have plenty of space to buff now. I was gonna say, yeah, like, it's so easy to whiff with iron balls, right? Okay, so we're gonna try to bait him. Now we should do the thing. Dude, I keep whiffing it. Oh, he's not gonna stagger because I whiffed the R1. Okay, so in this scenario, I'll show you what to do. Need to keep his poise from resetting. Oh my god, that staggered him, really? Alright, this might still work though. Kinda. Saveable. You get Memory of Grace here. Alright, one more time correctly. Yeah, it's important not to miss that freaking jump R1 apparently. I'm just not showing it properly, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so just the physic. Oh, you know what? Did I update my save since changing the physic? Let's find out. I don't think I did I? Yeah, that's probably another problem. Sort of. Not a huge problem, though. I didn't load the save. Okay. Yeah, it has Stone Barb in there still. Okay, so we're gonna go here, open menu, mix physic, do strength knot. Oops. What can I drop? Root resin. Hey, let me drop that please, menu delay. Thank you. Replace save file, boom. Okay, now we're good here. Okay, now we should be good. That damage might not super matter, but again, I'm not like a... This is the first time I've ever tried this strat, so I just know it exists, so I wanted to show it, you know? So yeah, if he's gonna do this, I want to get him into this corner. And you're gonna need to know his moves anyway. So, you know, just get some space and then get him to do the axe throw. Don't let your stamina drain all the way trying to like run in and out. I was too close there, so he did an overhead. Kick. I'll run away here. Let stamina regen. You're gonna need to know his moves, just so you can dodge everything. We should have plenty of time to buff in this corner. Alright, so this is kind of a problem. Like, we need to make sure we keep his poise up here. Tool showing right now. Let's see what his poise is at. His poise is at 4.8, so we did it correctly. Like, the throwing daggers helped.
That will be all.
Alright, so here. Exceed. Oh, what? It showed it as 4.8. Like, why did the poise break? That's so weird, man. Okay. Maybe the daggers do throw it off. The problem is you need to get him to yell, and if he just keeps doing attacks, you're kind of screwed. I guess you need to know when to bone out here if you're going to do it this way. Again, I don't love this strat, but it is... Once you learn all the subtleties of it, it's pretty good. But I don't know all of them, per se. Kind of like a sweet spot of distance where you can get him to do it. Alright, so we should be able to get away and buff here. Well, not if he's gonna run at me like that. So normally here, I see people, they just bait one more and then run through it. Just to give yourself more space, you know what I mean? Like, get him into a corner, go to the opposite corner, that kind of thing. If I just go away, will you transition now? Nice. Okay, so make sure you don't miss the jump attack. And double charge R2. Okay, so now it's showing 0.9 poise. Like, this should work. I didn't throw any daggers or anything. Like, this should work. So Xe would say, like, just outspace to make sure. And then charge R2. Maybe tap R2. I did double, but you maybe do charge R2, tap R2.
Tarnished.
And then use your foul
Thy
flip.
strength befits a crown.
The coolest idol. He just stands there menacingly. Like, I agree with that. Okay, so now we're gonna try... Smokers, do you think we should try... We're gonna try fighting him now, just to show the difference, basically. But that's basically it. There's a lot of subtleties there that maybe I don't know about yet. But essentially, the idea is bait the axe throw twice, then go buff, bait it a third time, and then get him to do his roar, like, as soon as possible. I think the trick is to go far away so he stops doing follow-ups. And maybe there's, like... Yeah, I guess throwing daggers screws it up a little bit, so don't do that, but... Alright, so now we're going to show you the R1 way. And if it, yeah, and we could try a stone barb thing too if we wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. So now, Smoker, were we full buffing or not? I don't remember. Yeah, we were full buffing. Yeah, so physic, bow, flame grant strength. So here we're doing like all R1s. This is the strat here. It's like all R1s. R1. R1. Not a jump R1. Rolling R1. 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 Oh! I thought you were gonna, yeah, that's what I thought he was gonna do. Sorry, I was looking at his poise right there. Well, I did break him. Hang on. I did break him right there. I think the regular R1s are what's screwing it up. Well, if we did Stone Barb, we could break him sooner and then not take the riposte, and then he'd go into the roar right away, and then we could damage him then to put him into phase 2 with the poise damage, you know? You know what I mean? Alright, so not doing jump R2s was not great here. Maybe I should throw in one charge R2, if I can. You know what I mean? Just because that's big damage. Oh, that was supposed to be a charge R2. I was out of stamina. Okay, right here he has 9 poise, 9.7. So this would work. Okay. I mean, there's probably better ways that you can like fight him properly. Like, that was with just one tap R2 mixed in. I mean, I think the trick is not to do too many regular R1s, because of all your R1s with Serpent Hunter, the regular one does the most poise damage. Crouch. Oh, maybe do a crouch instead. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so if I'm doing idle R1s, we could like strafe crouch. That might be smart, actually. That could be really good. That's actually really smart. But yeah, this is supposed to be like a beginner-friendly guide. I imagine they'll do the XZ special, but you never know, like. But that kind of gives you some ideas for like future runs where, you know, maybe you're doing some off-meta weapon and you can't figure out how to like get a scripted phase 2. Oh my god, we're getting to 34 endurance. That's really nice on here. I guess with the foul feet, that really makes a difference. So this is correct. Oh yeah, maybe just do a tap R2 on the start. Yeah, that would make sure I guaranteed at least one tap R2. That's smart. I was going to try to get him to do the 360 so I could do a full charge R2, but he just wouldn't do it. You found a full script Horaloo with Death's Poker? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Okay, so this fight is scripted, but tight on spacing and stamina. So I'm going to try to explain it a little bit as we go here. So the number one thing you need to know about this fight is you need to be sprinting into the fog door when you activate it and keep that sprint button held down the entire time. Like, while you're skipping the cutscene and everything, like keep that sprint button held down. That will keep your sprint buffered. So as soon as you walk in, you're sprinting as soon as you move. That's very important on this kill, because if you don't do the first 2 hits quick enough, he can do other attacks other than the one we want him to do, which is the scripted one. So that's the first thing to know about this fight. The second thing to know is on Elden Beast, after the second charge R2 at the opener, we want to like hold block and run and then immediately stop running just so we can get behind him as quick as we can while regenerating stamina, because stamina is very tight on the Elden Beast kill. But both are fully scripted, but you need to manage your stamina properly. Luckily with the foul feed on this run, I don't think we used foul feed on the previous run. With the foul feed on this run, we get to 34 endurance, which I think is pretty damn good. Like that should be super helpful. So I'm gonna physic first. I'm gonna Golden Vow, I'm gonna drink blue now. And then Flame Grant Strength, because I need to have enough blue to do 2 of them. And I'm buffering my sprint, like my button's held down. And we're gonna kind of run up to like this bush, this golden bush on the right. It's kind of like the visual cue here. So I'm gonna skip the cutscene while holding down sprint, run up to this bush, charge R2, double charge R2. And he should do this stomp. Jump R2. Charge R2 here. Riposte. Wait a second here. So you go back to like idle. Charge R2. Rolling R1. Rolling R1. Golden Vow. Flame Grant Strength. And then buffer your sprint again here. You have just enough time to start running again. So here we're gonna do 2 Charger 2s on Elden Beast, and then like I said, block cancel and sprint to get behind him, and then start walking like, you know, shortly after that so you can regenerate stamina. I'll show you. We'll do this a couple of tries here, but I got sprint buffered. See how quickly I get to him? I'm gonna Charger 2 kind of as soon as you can. Now I'm gonna sprint for a second and then start walking, and then double Charger 2 again. Look at all my stamina here. I have all the stamina in the world right there. Double charge R2 here. Crouch to regen stamina. Plenty of time here, plenty of time. Like 34 endurance is kind of insane for this kill. Like, that's a lot of extra endurance. So if you like forget a foul foot or something, you're probably fine. Like you might miss 1 or 2 levels tops, but like, let me show you. I'll just do it a couple of times. Like the problems that can arise here are like poor stamina management, Radagon doing an attack other than the scripted stomp into weapon art. If he's doing that, that means you're not attacking soon enough, and he's queuing up an attack. So we'll go Physic, Golden Vow, Drink a Blue, Flame Grant Strength. I'm holding down sprint while running into the door, keeping it held down. Like I've got my sprint buffered here, right? Skip cutscene. Right about the bush. I'm block canceling this too, just to get up quicker. Wait till your character goes back to idle, then charge R2. This is pretty lenient. I'm just using the D-pad to switch between these. Immediately start running. Keep that sprint buffered if you can. It'll help you with timing and stuff here. And then, you know, you want to run up till you know it's going to hit. And this attack kind of carries you forward a little bit. Block cancel, we're running forward. We're regenerating stamina. We're going to free aim it towards the tail so we don't get clipped by the fire. And then we're going to jump R2. Crouch to regenerate stamina. I don't have as much here, but this is fine. Crouch again, regenerate. Plenty of time to take the riposte. And it's just dead. I think a jump R1 would stagger him too if you don't want to do the R2. The R2 is like a little bit slower. So you could do a jump R1, it's a little quicker if he's swimming away too fast. But that's kind of the idea there. I'll show you one time how it looks if you're a little bit late on the Radagon opener. Because that is... I would say the Radagon opener timings, it's not crazy as long as you have the sprint buffered. But the Elden Beast stamina management's like a little bit more important in my opinion. That's where like the block canceling helps and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do this without a buffered sprint and you'll see what happens. And I'll also explain, like right now, no sprint is buffered here, right? So chances are he's going to queue up an attack, even if I have like the good spacing and stuff, so. See, I didn't start running, so. See, he's like, and I have like no stamina. And then he goes into it, so it's like, if he did the quick stomp, I'm just dead there, you know? Back to idle, charger 2. So we had to hit him one more time too, because oh, I didn't drink blue. Yeah, not quite enough time to do that. So this might not work the same. Let's see what happens. I didn't have the sprint buffered either. Oh, he's giving us good RNG. And you can, if it doesn't kill on riposte, you can charge R2 again. But I didn't get the Flame Grant Strength off. I forgot to drink blue before I walked through the door. I just wanted to show what would happen if if you were slow on Radagon. Like with the buffered sprint, it's pretty easy. Like you just find the visual marker on the ground where to run to, and you should always do the correct thing. And with this much stamina, it's honestly pretty cozy. But yeah, I mean, if you're having problems with like the Radabeast script or the Elden, or I guess Radagon or Elden Beast script, it does help if you like do your charge R2s. As soon as they hit, just hold block, because it will get you out of them a little bit quicker. It gives you a little bit more time to react and stuff like that. So, look, like in-game time, like, I mean, this is off of save files, but like a little over 2 hours is like not bad. And I was yapping a bunch and reloading saves a bunch and stuff like that. I mean, we even did a bird skip, even though we already had the grace pass there, you know what I mean? So it's a pretty efficient route. Almost everything's scripted or close. Like what's... I mean, some of the scripts are pretty challenging, I would say. Maliketh's challenging. This one's pretty challenging. Godfrey's kind of challenging. The Godrick one, if you knock him out of his drag opener, you need to have that timing down perfectly. But anyway, so as far as like Team Hitless stuff, say you get the run here, make sure you trigger the ending. You can watch the cutscene or skip it, it doesn't really matter. And then it should give you the option to go into New Game Plus. I would say no, personally, but this will take you back to Round Table. And then just, you can quit out from here. And you don't have to do this, but I always recommend just showing your save file at the very end of your recording. Just like we did at Volcano Manor earlier, just show the in-game time there. Like, it's not super important, but verifiers would be happy to see that you've, like, thought it all the way through and stuff like that. But yeah, level 99, 34 strength, 79 strength, 34 endurance is what we ended up with. And it does make that Radabeast script a little bit nicer. And, I mean... my biggest recommendation would be learn the Godfreys pretty well. And don't just rely on the axe throws, because even if they do the axe throws, you still kind of need to know their moveset to dodge whatever they do as a follow-up, right? So that is the Serpent Hunter tutorial part 2. I think that's that should be a little bit cozier of a tutorial, and it should. And oh, here's the big thing. The old one was on 108 patch, and a lot of the strats are no longer valid. This one's current patch, so that was kind of the main reason to do this updated tutorial, is to make it show the new, current patch strats. Did I do a good job, you guys? Is that good enough? I feel like I explained a lot of stuff, like, maybe a little bit more in depth than I did the first time, hopefully. Hopefully. We're bringing back Serpent Hunter. Serpent Hunter will be the meta once again. Once people see how basically everything's scripted again. Not enough volcano pot info. Well, I mean, at least, you know, you brought it up. You know what I mean? At least it's in there. Oh, I'm going to show if Smoker, if you're still listening.